following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. I love every single thing about helping them find or sell their home. Making sure the home is solid and ready for sale, or solid and ready for the buyer's inspection, to making sure that they're getting the best rate on their mortgage, making sure they're getting the best price on their house. You know, just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-404-6431. Or you can find me on Facebook or visit my website at centralnewyork.com/Adeline. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you home.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Pasalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Pasalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys, now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Pasalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys, now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Pasalacqua & Associates. 315-500-NICK or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.
In the Mohawk Valley, for the best real estate service, you gotta have faith. Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-735-2222 or www.centralnyhomes.com.
YOLO, infidels, that's right. It's Hacker Hameen.
This is Al Schneer from the band Mo.
Hey, this is Corey Glover from Living Color.
And you're listening to EC Radio.
And you're listening to EC Radio.
Live on EC Radio with the Z-Man. So take the pizza out of your fat moron mouth. Sit back and listen before I give you a $5 face slap. You'll never forget, infidels. YOLO.
Welcome to EC Radio Podcast. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for joining the Disruption team, and we hope that you will support all of our sponsors. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this program.
EC Radio, Disruption Networks. EC Radio, Disruption Networks.
Thirsty Thursday. I cut that quick, didn't I? Damn it.
Just a little bit.
I was a little too quick on that one. I think I'm getting the hang of it, chicken. I think I'm getting the hang of it. It's Thirsty Thursday here at EC Radio. What's happening, everybody? We live on the disruptionnetwork.net, the all-new website. Check it out. Great website that we got going on right now. We got to give big ups to my boy Pete Barone at CNY Creative Concepts. He does it up, man. He does it up. So it's Z and Chicken. How are you today,
What's going
Chicken?
on, man? Busy as usual, but
run, bro.
Yep.
That's how you got to do it. That's what you got to do.
Trying to keep up with all these transactions in the NFL so we can talk about today on the D-line.
Line.
So much going on.
Yeah.
So.
Give it up. Football's over with.
It ain't over,
It's
man.
NCAA March Madness, baby, and let's give it up for the Syracuse Orangemen
Great
to pulling
job,
it off
Cuse.
last night. Did it. They looked a little sloppy, but they did it.
I didn't get to watch the game. I was here
No?
doing the baseline last night. and-
Anytime they could beat Bobby Hurley, I love that. I love the fact that they beat Bobby Hurley last night.
Bobby Hurley.
You know, he's the coach of Arizona State.
I know. I remember him back when Duke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
Back in, didn't he get
Him
in a
and Chris,
bad car wreck?
Kristen Leitner, and he got in a bad car wreck,
I
right?
remember that.
He did.
Because that's kind of what prevented him from. Did he go to pros?
He for a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
He was there for a minute.
He was
and
a
then
stud coming out of college.
And you're
Yeah.
correct. He got into a bad car accident, and that kind of stopped his career right there. But then he went on to coaching. He followed in the footsteps of his dad. His dad is a legendary basketball coach in the high school ranks in New Jersey, St. Anthony's High School, New Jersey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the guy's legendary. And Bobby followed right in his footsteps. So, but hey, when Cuse can be a former member of the Duke Blue Devils, I'm all about it.
Well, and the fact that I was disbelieved they actually made it.
Right.
And then they
You
make it-
and the rest of the
right,
country.
exactly. and then to take down a team in the first round. Hey, man. Like I said, you're there. Once you get in the dance, you got a chance.
Right, and hopefully, it usually in the history, nobody can really match up to that 3-2 defense when they first see or the 2-3 when they first see it.
Mhm.
But the teams in the ACC when they see it, they're kind of used to it. So we'll see what happens when they play TCU this week or tomorrow.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah, it should be a tough match. We'll see. When it gets into the tournament time, it's always tough.
Oh, yeah.
Duck Fuke, that's right, man. Cuse in the house. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What up, fellas? Good to hear from you. Hopefully they can do it. You never know. It's all about momentum. We talked about this yesterday. It's all about momentum. Whoever's the hot hand, you keep going to that hot hand.
Absolutely.
But the only thing with Syracuse, and we talked about it with our boys this past Monday, Roosevelt Bowie and Dale Shackelford, the problem with Syracuse is they're a one-player team. Tyus Battle. Great player, though.
Mhm.
The kid's phenomenal. But they should spread around a little bit. Maybe they don't have enough confidence. And they're not deep at all. They have no backup whatsoever.
That's tough.
It is.
Because once you get into foul trouble, which happens a lot in the tournament,
Yeah.
and then who do you got? Or somebody goes down with injury. You got to have that next man up.
Did you do a bracket this year?
No, I did not.
Yeah, me neither, man.
just
This is
kinda
like
got
the first year in 30 years I've never done one.
Just kind of got thrown behind the 8 ball with everything going on. I never really had a chance to sit down and do one.
Yeah.
So I just forgot it.
It's going to be tough to beat Virginia this year. Virginia looks really tough. When it comes down to the last 8 teams, it all comes down to coaching.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean,
It does, though. Those coaches, watching the Final Four, look at who lasts in the Final Four and watch. I'm telling you, it's all going to be a top-notch coach.
but a deep bench does help.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a huge tournament, and these guys are
Absolutely.
every other day. They're getting running ragged. So if you got a good bench, and I think that goes a long way, and I think that's what's going to hurt Syracuse in the long run.
Matt Knapp saying they should recruit you, chicken. You got eligibility.
Fuck you. You're a Duke fan.
And Duke's always scary in the tournament.
Yeah, they are.
And North Carolina and Kansas, all those top-notch teams are always scary. But, again, it all comes down to momentum. Do I think Syracuse is going to last? Hopefully they get next to the next
I would just
round.
hope they knock down some, big names and screw up the tournament and screw up people's brackets. I'd be happy with that.
I like
bracket
that, too.
buster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's always like a 12 seed beating a 5 seed or a 6 beating 11.
Yeah.
It is. That's where the upsets usually lie.
I always like those.
It's very rare. There's maybe one upset where a 16 beat a 1.
It's usually against Syracuse.
That was a 15 and a 2. Cuse was a 2 seed and they lost to a 15 seed.
What was that, Maine or some shit like
Vermont.
that? Vermont, yes.
Vermont. I think Bernie Fine tried getting chicken. That's funny. That's funny, Hannah. You sick bastard.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's always a 5 seed losing to a 12 seed or a 13 seed losing to the 4 seed or something like that, vice versa. So, yeah, Richmond. Richmond was the other one. I think, good call, JP. Richmond was the one, I want to say that was the early 90s, maybe 1990, when they had, they were stacked. Sherman Douglas may have still been on the team, and Billy Owens. It might have been Sherman Douglas's last year. So that was 90, maybe 91. I don't know. I'm not good with numbers. And we're fine, chicken. I'm looking at it. I don't know. Your phone's all fucked up.
Yeah,
today,
my phone's
bro.
all fucked up.
Really. Don't blame us for your phone, miss. Yeah, what's up, Pete Masloon? Pete Masloon's checking in. He says Texas Southern has a legitimate chance of being the first number 116 to be a number 1. So it's never happened before? I thought it happened once. You got to look that up for me.
What's that? What am I looking up?
If there was ever been a 1 seed losing to a 16 seed. I thought it happened one time. But Pete's saying no, it hasn't. A 16 seed has never won one. Okay, so JP's checking in. He says no, it's never happened. I'll agree with JP. And big ups to JP and SPG last night on the Baseline doing their baseball podcast here on Disruption Network. We got a whole new thing going on with Disruption Sports. Be on the lookout for Disruption Sports with the Baseline and the D-line and all these other lines that we're going to have.
They actually sound like they know what they're talking about.
We're going to have the wrestling podcast. It's going to be called The Clothesline. So that's going to be happening here. No, it's never happened. Okay, Chicken C, you don't have to look that up.
Good, I wasn't going to anyway.
Yeah, because you're slow on the fact-checking anyways.
That's why I got two
You're
smart
no
guys.
amigo.
That's why I got two smart guys on my show.
Yeah, but I have no smart guys on my show.
Hey.
You're here first before you're there. Remember where you got your start there, pal.
Keeler?
Yeah, I'm talking on the D.
On the D.
Yeah. The D. Speaking of the D, we got the big party happening this Saturday at O'Donnell's, the St. Patty's Day extravaganza.
Yep. Last year was a blast.
Oh, it was.
I had a blast last year, and it poured. It was actually, everyone's like, oh, it's so shitty, but, man, I had a great time.
It's going to be cold on Saturday, but it's supposed to be sunny.
Yeah.
And, guys, everybody out there in central New York, if you look up in the sky, that little yellow thing, that's called the sun. And it brings heat, and it brings happiness, and it brings energy and growth, and it's a friend. So in case you haven't seen that in a while, get reacquainted with your old friend, the sun out there. Haven't seen him in a while. It's good to see you, son.
Yeah, it's like my penis. Haven't seen it in a while. Pops out every once in a while. It's all good. But, I'm sick of this winter already.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But Saturday we're going to be celebrating at O'Donnell's on the deck. It's a cool little deck that Chip's got built out over there.
Yeah, we're going to be on the top deck, so you can actually party out in the street with us.
And Chicken might flash his boobs.
Oh, absolutely. That's a given.
I think you might see some male breast enhancement.
Some chicken breasts.
From chicken. Chicken breasts, yes. Last year was a good time, and I hope we actually succeed that and beyond.
I'm going to do a dollar per motorboat, and then all that money goes to the Abigail charity.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And good call on that. We will be passing around buckets for our Abigail GoFundMe thing that we got going on. We're doing a fundraiser to send our crew out to Africa to do a documentary on the Iboga plant.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday, we're going to be passing around a bucket, doing some raffles. We're going to come up with some ways to collect some money for our fundraiser. You can also check out the GoFundMe page. If you wanted to make a donation right now, you can go to GoFundMe.com/Iboga, IBOGA. We'll be out in full force Saturday. We're going to be spreading the word on that GoFundMe page and our Africa trip in Iboga and have so much fun. We got so much fun in the works and drink specials and great bartenders. And John Nagel is coming out of bartending retirement.
Mr. Nagel.
To be performing at O'Donnell's. Because he doesn't just bartend, he performs. It's like an art watching him try to scoot around his big old self and try to get around people and make drinks and shit. Nagel's a bartending legend, man.
Oh, I remember.
His jersey hangs in the Bartending Hall of Fame as we speak.
He served me many UCs back in the day.
Nagel Teenies, man. He was famous for his Nagel Teenies. All the ladies loved his Nagel Teenies.
Nagel Titties.
Nagel Titties, yeah.
Oh.
And then we got our boy Alex, who will be out on the deck. Our boy Alex Alsheimer will be slinging the drinks left and right and pouring shots and all the fun activities that go on in the deck out there. Also, is Michelle working?
No.
Oh.
No, she is not.
I'm not coming now.
But I'm trying to convince her to come down and party with us.
I'm not coming. If Michelle's not going to be there, I'm done. I'm not going to be there.
But, yeah, I know. She's got she's the, I can't say her nickname from the bar, but they have a nice little cute nickname for her.
Oh, I can imagine.
The big titty bitch.
Oh. That's cute.
I don't know. That's what they call her.
I got another cute nickname for her. We won't talk about that. But Chip has a great staff over there. And Sam going to be there?
Sam will
be there. You got a cool bouncing staff, and a bunch of other of our friends will be there. So it's going to all happen this Saturday at O'Donnell's, 715 Varick Street in the Brewery District of Utica. Streets are going to be blocked off. Everybody's going to be out on the streets having a good old time. It's
The whole D crew is going to be there. I mean, Sill's going to be there. You know, Gaff, Adeline. We're going to have a good crew there, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's like Mardi Gras for people who like Jameson
And green beer.
and green beer and Guinness. And
But what I like about being at O'Donnell's is, you know, it's the only bar that, you know, like when we're on the deck there, that you can actually still party in the street. And as you know, they close down the street, and you know, we've been cooped up inside, you know, the whole year in winter time. It's nice to get out in the street and be outside and have some beers with some friends and not be cooped up in the bar. So, but typically nobody really caters to those guys in the street, and that's what we want to do is, like, you know, come get your beer at over at O'Donnell's, hang out in the street, party on the deck. You know what I mean?
put your beer in a cup before you go out on the street.
And don't be a dick. I can't stress this enough. You know what I mean? It's St. Patty's Day. Everyone's there to have fun. You know, if you got to wait in line a little bit, or if, you know, somebody bumps into you and spills their beer, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So just deal with it. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick to the staff. You know, no, everyone just wants to have fun. And
Everybody be respectful of each other.
And as you know, the staff is stressed to the max because they got to deal with, you know, 10,000 drunks all at once. You know what I mean? So be cool to the staff. You know, just come out and have fun. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. But come out and have fun with us, though.
And tip your bartenders.
Come out and have some fun with us. And tip your bartenders, of course. But we'll be out there. We're going to be doing live broadcasts all day from O'Donnell's on the deck. We'll be set up live. So if you want to come and hang out with your boys from the D, maybe be on a live broadcast with us and, you know, tell us a good story or tell us what happened throughout the day or give us a recap of stuff you've seen at other bars, by all means, come on and hang out with us. We love that stuff.
Absolutely.
Love that stuff. We want to hear funny stories and shit that happened because a lot of crazy antics go on St. Patty's Day.
I remember going in your bar one day. I was going to in line to take a piss, and I see this girl peeing in the sink in the men's room, and I'm like, and I just stopped and thought, you know, if you're gonna piss in a sink, right? If you're gonna piss in a sink, why wouldn't you just piss in the sink in the girls' room? You know what I mean? Like, you're already pissing in the fucking sink.
Take that girl home to mom.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, why wouldn't you just go piss in the girls'
Oh,
room?
Michael, where did you meet her? Well, you know, I caught her pissing in the sink on St. Patty's Day, and I was like, wow, you piss really well. I like the way you look when you're pissing like that. So you want to come home and meet my mom?
Yeah. Bandage checking. He says, be sure to wave to me across the street. I'll be trying to work the ring rust off.
The ring rust. He hasn't been working the bar scene in a while.
They called him back in. Like I said, the bar business is like the mob. Every time we try to get out, they bring you back in.
That's a fact.
And he got brought back in.
Just like Nagel.
Yeah, just like Nagel. Yep. And, yeah, so he's over there at Nail Creek this Saturday. So we'll go in there. We'll check in with Dave, see how he's doing over there.
It's so crazy for the bars because they have to call in. It's like all hands on deck.
Yep.
St. Patty's Day, everybody needs to come in and help out and lend a helping hand. I mean, I used to have my mom and my aunts and uncles and my old man and happen.
Uh-oh.
That was really weird.
Yeah, that was a weird.
How did that cut off like that? Anyways, had pretty much of my whole family, my brother and everybody would come down and help out, lend a helping hand because it gets crazy.
Your mom kicked me out one time.
Good. She probably deserved it.
I was horsing around with a friend of mine. We were just joking around, and I think she just had enough.
Yeah.
She's like, everybody out. Get out. And I was
Good.
like, I ain't fucking with Mama Z.
Nope. And you left, didn't you?
Absolutely.
And that's why I had her on.
Absolutely.
One year I had my cousin Carrie, and I love my cousin Carrie, but she can be tough. She's a tough woman. You know, you don't want to mess with her. And she was kicking people out that she was just like, people were doing fucked up shit, you know? She was like, you're out. I was like, yeah, see? All hands on deck. That's what happens on St. Patty's Day. And plus, it could be a little bit of a hassle. I mean,
it is.
Mind you, the money the bars make, they make great money, but it's a pain in the ass, man. You got to clean up afterwards. There's shit all over the place. You got to deal with fights and drama, people spilling beer and, God, shit on the bathroom floor. It is a lot to deal with. And I got a lot of respect to those bar owners because I've been there. I know how it goes. You have to deal with a lot of bullshit. You really do. And everybody thinks that they got it made because they own a bar and stuff like that. That is not the case.
No.
I can tell you right now, probably 90% of the bars on Varick Street right now, the money that they make on Saturday is going to be to pay all the bills that they make up for from the beginning of the year.
Right.
Because I've been there. I know how it goes. This is a slow time of year. It's probably making up for all the, you know.
This is that, catch-up time.
Catch-up time, exactly.
And that's what I say, man. Just, we've all been cooped up. We all want to have a good time. Don't be a dick. Like I said, these guys are stressed to the max as it is. You know, like you got to have all hands on deck, and some guys never worked in that bar before.
Right.
You know, and you just got to understand it. Just be patient, and, things will have a good time. And you know what? I got to say, I got to give credit to Utica lately. The past few years, I haven't seen a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? Used to be years ago, the paddy wagon would be filled right up. You know what I mean? But the police officers, they got it on lock pretty good. They make sure that people aren't really, fucking around too much. I haven't seen huge fights in a long time, knock on wood. Hopefully they don't. But people have been able to act properly for the most part,
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yes.
Hopefully. Don't be a dick. That's what we preach here on EC Radio.
Yeah,
That's our
don't be a
PSA
dick.
for the day today. Don't be a dick on Saturday on St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
And we got to give big ups to Nick Pasalacqua. He's sponsoring our big
Absolutely.
St. Patty's Day party.
Thanks, Nick.
Big ups to Nick. 315-500-NICK. If you need legal help, you better call Nick. Pasalacqua and Associates. You can also log on cnytriallaw.com. We're going to be passing out his wristbands, and we have some, cards and whatnot. So pamphlets, if you will, literature.
Yeah, don't drink and drive, folks.
That's the other thing.
But if you do, and you do get yourself in some trouble, call Nick.
Yes, and, I got to mention, too, Debbie Griffin checking in, and start your day off at Griffin's on St. Patty's Day. Start it off. They open super early, like 8 o'clock in the morning or something. Go down
you have
there
to
and hang
with that
out.
parade
Yeah,
and everything.
And it's cool. All hands on deck over there, too.
They're a
they got
staple
the
in St.
family.
Patty's.
Yeah, they got their family working for them and everybody on St. Patty's Day. It gets crazy down there on Genesee Street. So much love to the Griffin family. I love those guys.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people I haven't seen all winter. You know
That's St. Patty's Day, too. It is. It's like a reunion every year. Catching up with your old friends you haven't seen because everybody's been cooped up in the house.
Exactly. Especially this winter. It's been snowstorm after snowstorm, so people haven't really been getting out. So it'd be a great time to see people, you haven't seen since Halloween, pretty much.
Since our reunion party?
Yeah, right.
We did have one in there.
Yeah, that
There
was a
was
great
one in
party.
there.
That was a fun time.
And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of those people.
Yep.
So the parade starts at 10 o'clock. It goes down. You're hanging out on Genesee Street. They're also doing, coffee and donuts over at the Stanley as well. So if you don't want to drink any beer, you maybe want to get a coffee, and you can stop by the Stanley. All the volunteers are passing out coffee and stuff. And you hang out, you watch the parade, and then everybody marches on down to Varick Street and do it up big time. What are you expecting, Chicken? You expecting, record turnout
No.
down on Varick Street, or
No.
you think it's going to be average?
I think it's going to be average.
Yeah.
If the temperatures were, 55 to 65 degrees, I think it'd be real packed. I think a lot of people come out more just because they want to be outside and enjoy the weather. Being that it's going to be 28 to 30 degrees tops, and we never know. I mean,
You never know.
it could end up getting up higher than that.
But that yellow thing in the sky out there, it's supposed to be in the sky on
Yes.
Saturday, so I'm hoping.
yes, and
It all depends on that yellow thing in the sky.
I mean, right now it says 28, but that could easily reach up to 35. And you know what? After what we've been dealing with this winter, I'll take 35 outside.
Yeah.
In the sun, drinking some beers, having fun with my friends. Just dress properly.
Yeah. And we'll be outside, so we need to dress properly.
Oh, yeah.
You going to wear long johns?
No.
No?
No,
You
I'm
don't
a
do the
man.
long johns?
I do, but when it's frigid.
Yeah.
When it's really, really
It's
cold.
supposed to be 30, right?
Like the
on
Heart Walk.
Saturday?
The Heart Walk, I wear,
Yeah.
long johns.
I do too.
But, this, probably not. And at
It's
least,
supposed to be 30, right?
Yeah.
On Saturday?
Yeah.
That's manageable.
yeah.
It's funny when we think 30. It's that's fine. We can hang out. That's no
Yeah.
problem.
Freezing
But
weather.
when it's minus 20, no, we're not hanging out outside. I was talking to Trampoline Jetstream yesterday, and we did that show with them when they were Glen Street and Street Rock Mafia. We played at All Delicious in the middle of, it was the end of January, and it literally was 5 degrees outside. It was cold. I would never do that again, though. But when it's 30 degrees outside and we're drinking beers and probably doing a bunch of shots, not feeling a thing, it's probably going to feel 70 degrees.
Yeah, once the Jameson starts flowing, you
Yep.
feel a lot warmer.
Addie's saying she's going to represent inside.
Dave says it sounds like shorts weather to him, but I think it's always shorts weather for Dave.
Yeah. There's a few out there. Going back to Mike Griffin, he's another one, too. He wears shorts all year round. Chip O'Donnell, another one. It must be a bar owner thing, other than Bandage. Bandage does wear shorts all year round.
Yep, he's always wearing shorts.
Yes. But I think it's a bar owner thing. Half the bar owners in this town wear shorts, constantly.
I never noticed that. But now you mention it, I'm starting to think, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, look
that's
at
so
your
weird.
boss on Varick Street,
Yeah.
who we're going to go see on Saturday. I bet you on Saturday we show up at O'Donnell's. I bet you he's in shorts. He's going to be in shorts. And
Khaki
like,
shorts.
Yeah, and like some cabana hat. I love hanging out with Chip on St. Patty's Day. He's fun. You know what I love about Chip? Because he'll sit there and booze with you. He's a fun drunk.
Oh,
He's
trust
not
me,
an asshole when he's drunk. Like he's an asshole when he's sober. No, I'm kidding, Chip.
He
You know I
came in
love
one
you.
day. He came in one day. He had a few, knocked down a few, and he ended up dancing on the bar.
Oh yeah,
And I
I've witnessed that many
videotaped that.
times. Many times.
People are like, "You gonna let him dance on the bar?" I'm like, "It's his fucking bar."
He's a fun guy to drink with, though. He kisses me about 500 times in a day when he's drunk. But we're gonna have a great time, though, and I'm looking
Tongue or
forward
no
to seeing
tongue?
him. No tongue, just
Oh.
on the cheek. Just on the cheek. I think he tries to kiss my girl with tongue, though. But that's all right, man. He's letting us use his space. So much love and respect to Chip, man. The first day I ever met him, I was moving into the EC, and there was like this old staircase, and he wanted to buy it, and he was like, "I'll take it." I'm like, just get it out of here, get it out of here. And we became best friends ever since. And I love that man, and I'll do whatever for him.
Yeah, he pays me, so I love him.
Yeah, yeah, and he lets us use his space.
Yes, that is awesome.
That's
Thank
a good
you.
thing too.
That is a really good thing. And he's starting to serve. He's got food going now again.
He's in and out with the food.
Yeah, but he's got some good cooks now, man.
He's always had great food there.
I just seen
great food.
Sarah, one of the bartenders there, just posted in the Utica Tommy Lamac's page, the Utica Food Review, and it was a bacon wrapped meatloaf with macaroni and cheese inside of it. I was looking at this, I'm like, this looks really good. That looks like something I might have to try.
He's always had good cooks. At one time, he had the best burger in town at O'Donnell's. It was unbelievable. So hopefully he goes back to that.
I know two great cooks. Yeah, Jose and Lenny.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are they know their shit. So these guys are pretty good too. He's got two great cooks.
Excellent. Good for you, Chippy. There's your rub for the day, Chippy, right there. You got the rub from the D today. Oh,
you
your
rub the
free
D.
advertisement for you, pal. Nah, we love you. I can't wait for the party on Saturday. I can't believe I'm excited to celebrate St. Patty's Day. I hate that day, to be honest with you, because of being in the bar business for so long and
it's like,
bartending and stuff. It's like
it's like how I feel about Christmas. Working in retail for Christmas, it's like 3 months of bullshit.
Right.
And then like extended hours and dealing with dicks.
Where at St. Patty's Day, it's only like 6 hours of bullshit.
Right,
Or
but it's a lot of bullshit in those 6 hours.
Maybe 8 hours, but it's a long day. It makes for a long day, and it's a lot of bullshit to deal with. But at the same time, the money's really good.
Absolutely. If you're a bartender or whatever, you're making good money on that day.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm excited to actually celebrate St. Patty's Day.
Yes.
First time in forever.
It was
Well,
funny.
we did last year.
Yeah, last year you were kind of like apprehensive because, again, you don't like St. Patty's Day, and you're like, whatever.
It just brings back bad memories.
And then I come see you up on the deck, and you're like 3 sheets to the wind. You're like, I'm having a fucking blast.
Hey, this year, too, make sure if we get too drunk, we need to cut the broadcast.
Yeah.
Because last year it got to be like stupid drunk girl wasted. Let's let everybody up here, and we're going to be selective this year. This year's going to be a little bit different than it was last year. Last year was a lot more debauchery than what we plan on this year. I mean, not that there's not going to be any debauchery, but as far as
Control
the guests go,
chaos,
and control chaos. And we had way too many people up on that deck, and this year we're going to control that and just invite. It's going to be like an invite thing, and there's going to be a lot of people that we're going to want to talk to too. So, but we want to, one at a time, chance a piece type thing.
Yeah, Hannah's checking. He said, I hate St. Patty's Day from all the years of delivering beer on the whole street.
Yeah.
I could see that. There's a lot of kegs, man.
Yeah, for 10 years he gave me my beer. I remember St. Patty's Day, Hannah.
Yeah, I remember hanging out at Lenny's house, and all of a sudden Hannah comes walking in. I'm like, the hell are you doing here?
I had to go take a shit.
Well, he's like, what the hell are you doing? We rode the same bus in high school. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? But you never know who you can run into on Varick Street, man.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. But you know what, Hannah, come hang out with us, and I bet you'll be singing a different tune about St. Patty's Day.
Yeah,
because we're going to have some fun.
And you ain't delivering beer, buddy.
And you're not delivering beer, right, exactly.
Now you can make fun of all those people delivering beer.
And we'll be making fun of people with you. So that's what we like to do. I love the people watching on St. Patty's Day, and I also like to get reacquainted with old friends.
Absolutely.
Including the sun.
Is,
so hopefully the sun is up
Matt Dennison from Impressions Limousine. We only see each other on St. Patty's Day, and it's been going on for 15, almost 20 years now. Like, I never see him any other day of the year. Always see him on St. Patty's Day.
Matt's a good dude.
Yep, he's a great dude.
Yeah. A lot of good things to look forward to. But St. Patty's Day, it's here. This actually kicks off all the activities that we got going on for the rest of the year. This is our kickoff. Well, our anniversary party was.
Yeah, this was our initial first time out.
Last year was?
Yeah.
On St. Patty's Day?
Yeah, it was our first initial launch, like being on the street type of thing.
So you think this is like our 1-year anniversary type of thing?
Well, no.
1-year anniversary of doing events with the D?
Sure.
We'll look at it that way. Oh, it's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't realize that was our first event last year.
Yeah, it was our first time out on the street, being out to the public.
A lot of fun, though, last year. And hopefully a lot of those people come back and visit us.
Well, and I think it's going to be a little bit better than last year, too. You got to remember we had 3 St. Patty's Day, and then it poured. You know what I mean? So now we're going to have 1 St. Patty's Day on the actual St. Patty's Day, and it's going to be sunny. You know what I mean? And it's going to be warm enough, folks.
Yeah. It's St. Patrick's Day. You drink enough, you're not even going to feel it.
It keeps your beer cold.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Do shots. What do you do shots of, chicken?
Whatever anybody's buying me. I don't really like the whiskey. I'll do tequila before whiskey, but I'll do Jameson if somebody buys it for me. But
if you have a choice, though, like they're like, hey, let's do a shot. You do whatever you want, because I'm a firm believer that you don't really have to do the same shot as the person buying.
No,
because
what
if I don't like tequila and you're buying me tequila, I think that if you're buying the shots, you wouldn't be like, hey, what do you want a shot of? Yeah. I think it's more common courtesy to ask what you're doing a shot of.
True. I used to we used to have like kind of like this like bro code type thing that if somebody bought you a shot, they chose what shot it was, and then you had to do it. So like you get like prairie fires and shit like that, just to kind of like fuck with your buddy.
I hate that.
We were like in our 20s,
right?
So now it's like I kind of take that mentality. Well, whatever you're doing, but if I had to choose a shot, I like Honey Jack, and I hate Jack Daniels, but I like Honey Jack, and I like the Fire Jack too. I could do those.
Super popular, both of them right now. And Fireball's really popular right now too.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I mean you can't do too many shots of that, but every once in a while it's
a pretty good.
You
can do too many shots of anything.
I like pickleback though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I do like that because like I hate the whiskey taste. I got real sick when I was like 16 years old, and to this day Jack Daniels me and him aren't friends.
Yeah,
or Jim Beam, none of those guys. But the Fire Jack and the Honey Jack, I can do those. Those are pretty good.
I'm sure that shots are going to be flowing on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to turn down a shot, will you?
No, I'm not a bitch.
I just think that it's when somebody will come walking up to you and be like, here, I bought a shot for you. It's Goldschlager. Oh,
I'll do it. We used to have this thing like Goldschlager. We used to throw Halloween parties at my house, and we do 50 cents per shot. Or no, I'm sorry, dollar shots, 50 cents if you lit the shot on fire. And it would be always Goldschlager we'd light on fire. And then somebody dropped down $10 and buy 20 shots of fire shots. And nobody had mustaches and burnt lips. And yeah, we weren't the brightest of folk.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, there's a couple alcohol, like, liquors that I can't deal with at all. I can't smell SoCo. I can never do SoCo ever again in my life. Jack Daniels, another one. I can't do Jack Daniels
I hate
ever.
Jack.
I had my day with it. Jim Beam's another one that I had my day with. Jim Beam I can do now, though, a little bit more so than I could maybe say 10 years ago. But at one time I had my day with Jim Beam. And you know how if you drink too much of something, you just
That's Jack.
You end that relationship?
Yep.
Yeah, Jack, Jim Beam, SoCo are those 3 for me. And Cuervo. I cannot do Cuervo. I could do other tequilas, like, say, a Patron or, what was the one that?
Barton's? No.
What was Sammy Hagar? Cabo Wabo.
Cabo Wabo.
Yeah, Cabo Wabo. That's actually really good tequila.
I've never had
there's
that
some
yet.
other good stuff out there, but Cuervo, can't do it.
I can do it. I don't particularly like it. I can muscle it down. I can do it before Jack, that's for sure. My liquor of choice used to be gin. I used to get gin and everything. Gin and Mountain Dew was my drink. But, yeah, what happened to me was when I was like 15, 16 years old, I went and drank. There was a bottle of Yukon Jack, Jack Daniels, and Black Velvet, and I just went down the line chugging them. And next thing you know, I'm getting held over a toilet by my ponytail, puking my guts out. And to this day, every time I smell whiskey, it's like, oh.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. All of those. Did you ever drink Red Death back in the day?
No, what's that?
Red Death was a SoCo drink, but it was like an Alabama Slammer mixed with something else. I can't remember, but it ended up being like maybe 4 or 5 different liquors at a time. It was brutal. We used to drink those a lot back in the Metro days. If you remember the Metro back
Oh,
in
yeah.
Barrack Street.
I
Now
remember
it's
the
the
Metro.
Adirondack Distillery. That thing, man, used to kick our ass. But I remember coming back from work. I had to leave work one time from the next day just throwing up all over the dumpster and all over the garage at Dunsport. I mean, it was
man.
bad. A bad day with Red Death. And ever since that, I can't even smell SoCo. I'll pour SoCo for shots for people when I'm working the bar. I can't even smell it.
Do you ever have a slow, comfortable screw?
No, I actually haven't.
Slow
What is
slow
it?
gin,
Slow gin.
Southern Comfort, and orange juice and vodka. Slow, comfortable screw.
That doesn't sound too inviting to me.
No, it wasn't. It was in one of those bartender books years ago when I was going to work on the casino boat down in Florida. I picked up the bartender's guide and I'm like, oh, slow, comfortable screw. Well, make this. Go out there and it wasn't my favorite.
I'll stick with beer.
Yeah, I do beer. You know, I used to do a lot of Jaeger, but then I realized Jaeger kind of makes me a dick. So like, kind of eased up on the Jaeger.
There's Dave. Thanks for the Red Death recipe out here. Peach liqueur, yes. Amaretto, I remember that, but there's definitely SoCo in it. Or they used to make it back in the Metro days with SoCo in it because that's all I remember drinking. But thanks for posting that recipe up. And Dave Bauer's checking in and says we got to have a shot of tequila together, chicken.
Let's do it.
Dave, if you're out Saturday, man, come on out and take some pictures of us on Saturday at O'Donnell's.
Yeah.
Bring the camera. Come on out. And it's free. I mean, right? Isn't it free to get in?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a couple bucks.
Oh,
for,
at the
they
bar?
probably do like $2 or $3.
I'm not sure. I know they do something.
Some of those bars, I'm very
like
sure
$1 or $2 or something.
charge
really,
a couple
really small.
bucks, but
Yeah.
it's only a couple bucks. But the party's on the street, Varick Street, this Saturday.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That was the alternate. Thanks, Dave. Dave just posted another alternate recipe for Red Death. Slow gin and SoCo, yup, and amaretto. Yup, that's it. That is, thank you.
It's almost very close to the slow, comfortable screw.
You just made me throw up in my mouth just reading that.
Yeah, we used to do prairie fires, which was half tequila and half Tabasco. Oh, it was brutal.
Dude, I got to tell you, last night, I was bartending last night at Griffin's like I do every Wednesday night. This kid ordered, he goes, I need a shot of Jameson and a shot of Cuervo. I said, all right. He goes, no, but in the same glass.
Oof.
Like, you want mixed with something? He goes, no. I want a shot of Jameson and a shot of Cuervo.
Was he self-loathing?
And he did it, and I'm like, God bless you, pal. And then he put it down, and he's like, all right, I'm out of here. And that's all he wanted.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
He was like 24 years old. I had to look at his ID because he looked young.
Uh-huh.
See how old he was. Shot of Cuervo and a shot of Jameson in one cup. Drink it back.
Man, he must hate himself.
Dave's saying he'll be too drunk to take pictures on Saturday. He's going to be partaking in the festivities. Well, come hang out with us then. You don't need to take pictures. Just come hang out with us. It'll be fun. We'll take pictures on our camera phone together.
Yeah, we already made him take pictures in the bathroom at Cavallo's.
Yeah, he's probably scarred for life on that one. He's probably scarred for life.
The Four Horsemen as a super shot was evil, says Bandage.
What was the Four Horsemen? Oh, I know what the Four Horsemen. Or no, I'm thinking the Jims or the Jacks. The Four Horsemen. Wait, is that? It's Jack, Jim, Johnny, and Jose. I think. Is that the Four Horsemen?
Jim, Jack, Johnny, and Jose all in one.
Yeah, I was right. Okay. The Four Horsemen. I'm thinking Ric Flair over here.
Then right after that is Ralph.
That's like that's a 21-year-old birthday shot.
Yeah.
That you get a kid who's never experienced any of those liquors before in their life. You pour him a Four Horsemen and then just watch them slowly fade.
That's what we used
into
to
the
do
night.
with the prairie fires. We said, like I said, you had to roll. Somebody buy you a shot, you had to do it, and that was always the 21st birthday shot.
Yeah, woo, vomit everywhere. I like Ric Flair. Woo!
Imagine that's kind of the sound you take when you take that shot. It's like, woo! You know, like that. Like you can't stop your face from cringing.
Right.
Oh, man, that sounds gross.
Let's bust open that Tullamore door over there now that we're talking about drinking. No, I can't. Actually, I got to work tonight. I'm working at the
Same here.
Stanley tonight.
I'm working at O'Donnell's.
We have Sesame Street. Actually, Sesame Street's going on, like, right now. or it was earlier. They're doing 2 showings. So, yeah, I got to tell Big Bird, get out.
Kick Big Bird out.
It's time to go.
So you can be
I'm last to leave that place every night.
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. Joe Finelli had a great story the other day. He goes, last time Sesame Street came in, Oscar the Grouch was just kind of hanging out in the trash can, and he just kept on popping up and giving him the finger all the time. Like every few minutes, he'd pop up and give him the finger.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Good stories. But, yeah, I'm down there for Sesame Street. And then the Stanley also, like I mentioned earlier, will be passing out coffee and donuts and stuff like that. Not passing out. I think you got to pay for them, but it all goes to the Stanley Fund.
Which is, it's going to be, that whole strip, like the parade route.
Yeah.
Is, tons of businesses out there.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Tons of businesses out there, thrive. This is a big time of year for them as well.
Yeah.
And it just adds to the fun. There's so much.
And there's been new businesses popping up on Genesee Street, too. So there's going to be
Bite
more.
and,
Well, yeah, Bite. Well, Bite's a little bit down more on the parade route because they come up. They
don't go all the way down
They make
that?
that left on Columbia Street.
Yeah, but I imagine to get a lot of that.
But they do, right. And the Hotel Utica now, that's all remodeled and looks beautiful in there, as well as the Landmark building. And there's a lot of cool things. Actually, I think they maybe take the left on Lafayette, not Columbia.
Where do they start? Over by Oneida Square?
They start in Oneida Square.
Oneida Circle now?
Yeah, right.
You can't call it Oneida Square anymore.
Circle gets the square. Or square gets the circle.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. But, yeah, it starts down there. Have you ever marched in the parade?
Yes.
You have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bunch of times, actually, with K-Rock and Fox TV. And
Yeah,
stuff.
same here. We've marched in the parade a few times. It starts down
loved
there,
it.
and it goes all the way down, and it takes that left. I want to say it takes the left on Lafayette because they still use Columbia as a driving area, a road.
When I first started working at Fox back in, 2002, about 2001, 2002, they weren't in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it a big emphasis. I'm like, we need to be in the parade because I'm watching. I see every other news station in there, and luckily we had some of our K-Rock compadres, start working over there, and we put together a couple floats, and that was the float. I think we had Keeler involved too, so it was like our K-Rock float was the same exact people as our Fox float, all the same people. So it was a lot of fun. Dina was out there, Kelly, Keeler, it was like a K-Rock reunion.
Nice.
So
It is a reunion on Saturday.
yeah, absolutely. We had a couple of guys from other media sources pop in and say hi. We hope they come back.
Last year? Yeah, hopefully they come back.
Yep.
Maybe not.
They might not be allowed to.
I feel like they're all scared of us now. I don't know. Who cares? Anyways, good to see a bunch of old friends on Saturday. I'm looking forward to all that. A lot of fun to look forward to. Coming up in a little bit, too, I got to mention we got attorney Dave Longeretta is going to join us. I think it's attorney week here.
It is.
On EC Radio. But we're going to talk to Dave about your DWI rights. We're going to talk about some gun laws. And I want to bring up some historic cases that happened in the area. I'm sure Dave he's been around for a long, long time. And he was my lawyer back at the EC. So it would be good to catch up with my old friend and see Dave. And he's also bringing in John Leonard, a buddy of his and attorney from Rome as well. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're going to catch up with Dave. It'd be good to see him. And then later on tonight, the D-line.
Yes, sir.
The
we
D-line
got a lot
is
to
in
talk about.
full effect. Are you going to talk about ODB and his blunt?
We're going to touch on it a little bit. Did you see? I don't know if you've seen the picture.
Like, is it a big surprise that the NFL players smoke weed?
No.
Is that such a big surprise?
And there was Max. Oh man, what's his last name? He's on the First Take with Stephen A. Smith. He had a great comment. What he was saying. He's like, you know what? He's smoking a blunt. Who the fuck? He's like, who cares? He's like, this day and age, I know it's scheduled as a Schedule I drug. He goes, we all know it's not.
Well, on a federal level.
He goes, we all know it's not. We all know that, we're moving towards, legalizing a lot of this. He goes, so that really doesn't bother me that he was smoking the marijuana. He goes, it's the cocaine on the side of the bed. It's a bigger issue.
Oh, there's blow there, too?
Oh, they said there was white substances in lines next to a credit card. So there's that, too.
See, I didn't see the picture. I haven't paid attention.
You haven't seen the picture?
But
Okay.
I've seen people talking about it on social media. And If he's got a blunt, so what? But yes, if there's blow laying
Right.
around or Molly or whatever the white substance is, it could be many things, and not just cocaine. Just because it's white doesn't mean it's cocaine.
Right.
It could also be heroin.
And
It could also be Molly.
and
It
it
could,
also
it
could-
could also be
but either s-
Special K.
But either way, that's still not legal.
Right. It
But
also could be OxyContin.
it could also be the girls that he was with.
Right.
The blunt was in his hand, or what looked to be a blunt was physically in his hand. And this isn't the first time something like this happened. Because remember the boat trip right before the playoffs?
Yeah.
You know, they said there was rumors of blunts being passed in there and stuff. Honestly, like, yeah, you're an idiot if you're an NFL player doing anything like that. You know, I look at like Josh Gordon, who got busted twice for marijuana, and then he got suspended for a whole year. And you're kind of like, I get it, dude. You want to get high. I don't agree that they should be punished so heavily for smoking marijuana, but it is one of the rules. You should follow it. I mean, you're making millions.
You're making millions,
You know what I
right?
mean?
If it means you got to stop smoking weed for 5 to 10 years,
Yeah, if somebody's
so
like,
do it.
I'll give you $30 million in the next 7 years if you just stop smoking weed. I'm done.
Done. No problem.
I'm good.
What's weed?
Exactly.
What is it? I would too.
Like Ricky Williams, you know, when he quit and went started smoking weed all the time, and you're like, you're gonna give up that much money just to smoke some weed?
Yeah, but it wasn't about the money for him, man. It
I
was
know,
more
I
about
get-
the journey.
I get it, but
I think what Ricky Williams is doing is great out there.
I don't know what he's doing right now.
He's out there spreading love, is what he's doing. He's on.
So was Will Chamberlain.
He's
but
on a mission, you know.
I haven't really heard anything from him.
You never seen the documentary?
No.
No? Oh, you
No,
should
I
watch
did not.
it. He's got a documentary out there.
I'm not saying he's a bad person in any sense of the imagination. No, I just thought, you know, in the highlight of his career, you know what I mean? Like,
If football didn't matter to him at that point, he was just like, I'm over it.
Mhm.
You know.
well, then he came back and he kicked ass.
Yeah.
You know, I think he came back and he was better than he was before he left.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
Yeah,
he
he
might
could've-
have had get that shit out of his head and want to fall in love with the game again. That happens to a lot of guys. But we're going to talk a lot about the transactions going on. There's a ton of stuff going on right now. This whole league is being all mixed up. Giants made some decent moves. The Bears, the Browns. I don't know. The Browns, man, they got Tyrod Taylor, Landry. Now they went and got Carlos Hyde. They're stacking up. That's what Dave's going to come on and get all
Bandage is
excited.
coming?
Supposedly.
He's coming? Well, I will say this. Dave is making an appearance on Disruption Network this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to be here. We do our fantasy baseball draft.
I may pop in
You should.
depending on
Come hang out. It's
my
always
le-
there's always some kind of stupid antics that go on.
depending on my level of hangover.
Right.
But I probably will pop in. I'm not going to partake because I don't know shit about baseball, but
It's so much fun. We have a lot of fun every year, and this is our 15th annual.
nice.
15th annual.
Yeah, I was like I had to fill in for, you know, run the board yesterday for the baseline, and
How'd you do?
Todd said he was proud of me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No way.
No problems. You know what? It'd be problem.
I want to see where it said Todd said he was proud of you.
It's in my text message. I'll show it
I
to
don't
you.
believe you.
But I'm going to see if this week, if I can actually turn on the cameras and they don't freeze 2 weeks in a row. EC Radio's fine. Nothing. Literally, everything's working. I go to start the show, and bam, my camera just freezes.
Yeah.
It only happened to me 2 weeks in a row.
With all this new equipment, are you adjusting to it?
Yeah, yesterday was my first time on the new setup. So I got it. It was all right.
It's
It's
really-
super easy. It's
it
just
is easy.
intimidating when you first look at it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So I was like, I hope I'm doing this right. I hope I'm doing this right. But Todd walked me through it, and he's pretty good. So yeah, no problems. You know, those guys are great. I mean, I love those new segments they got going. You know, the 7-inning stretch, and they got the 3 up, 3 down. It doesn't seem like they just started. It seems like they've been doing it for a little while now.
Well, they both are well versed in baseball.
Absolutely.
Well versed in baseball. And JP knows his shit, and Gaffney is on top of it as well. He's won our fantasy league pretty much every year. Not every year, but it's between him and Leo wins a lot too. But him and I started that league 15 years ago, and there's only 3 of us that are actually the originals, and Chris Pauly's the other one. So we're going to talk about that on Sunday. Sunday's fun. We get together, we break balls. Robbie Danger's also in the league, an old favorite here on the D. So
don't lock yourself in the bathroom, Robbie.
there's no way he can do it. Here.
Oh, he'll find a way. It's
Yeah,
Robbie.
Sure. And you know, we have some old friends that have been in the league for a long, long time. I think Gaffney's been in like 9 years, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know what it's going to look like to people out there is just all dudes looking at books and stuff like that. But we're going to try to break up the monotony in the dead air because there's going to be some dead air.
Well, you got a drum set here. You got a mismatch of musicians and.
You know, it's funny. The other day when I mentioned that, I'm like, there's going to be some dead air. We got to figure out how we're going to deal with the dead air. And JP looks at me and goes, I got you. So,
well, are you guys going to go straight stream the whole entire time, or are you guys going to?
Well, not the whole. Once when we start right off the bat. Once we start in, I think we'll do it right off the bat. Kind of hang in for a while. I don't know. I feel like Sundays are good. Like a good day. Like when they did their baseline, their debut was on a Sunday. They killed it and knocked it out of the park. Yesterday was Wednesday. It was a little bit less, like half of what they did the first time. But they weren't used to them being on a Wednesday. And Wednesday nights can be a little difficult. Sunday nights, I think, is going to be a great time for them.
And Wednesday, like we, because of availability, with those guys, they're both very busy people too.
Yeah.
Going on at 9 o'clock was a little late. But I feel like at Sundays right now, there's no football on. There's college basketball. Like you got some college basketball and stuff like that. But people can tune in on Sundays. They have to open more time to check in and hang out and do things. So I think Sunday would be great for them.
Yeah, they're gonna knock it out of the park. Knock it out.
Literally.
Of the park. For real. And like you said, they do some cool segments, and they were doing some fantasy picks and going through the top managers last night. I got to check in here and there a little bit last night, in and out when I was working, but what they were creating, the content that they were creating was awesome.
Yeah, they got it segmented nicely and way more organized than the D-line.
Way more organized than any of it around here. Way more organized than all of us.
Which drives Silver crazy. We're not, structured.
Yeah. But, well, tell them to get busy. Tell them to work. Get to work, boy.
It's my fault. Then I always just, go off the rail. But, we have a fun time, so it's all fun, man. I love it. Like, get to talk sports. These guys are talking baseball. I don't know shit about baseball, but you could tell the level of fun that they're and the guys interacting and stuff. And, that's what sports are supposed to be about. Just keep it fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to some more sports shows.
And we're talking about putting these shows together. If anybody out there wants to maybe put a demo together or use our studio, if maybe you have a podcast and you want to use our studio, we could do that. We got some really cool equipment you can use and cheap rates that you could come in and use to buy an hour, come in hourly or daily or however you want to do it. So hit us up if you're interested in putting a podcast together or a video cast, webcast. Hit us up. We've got a lot of great equipment around here. State-of-the-art facility right now.
It is.
It really is. It's not.
It's not even
Bush
a
League.
joke. It's not even bullshit.
Remember, we were Bush League back in the day. We're not Bush
back
League
in the
anymore.
day. Seems so long ago.
Yeah. We did. We were Bush League just even say 3 months ago. We were freaking Bush League. But now, it's state-of-the-art facility right now.
Todd's already working on removing all this equipment and putting something else in there. Every time I turn around, I'm like, how the hell do I run this now?
Have Adam hit me up about the crypto show. I wanted to do a crypto show, and I had some plans in the works, but the problem with that is just I don't have the time.
Yeah,
I don't have the time. So if somebody else really wants to take the ball and run with it, as far as the crypto show, absolutely. I want a crypto show. I'm into crypto, even though the market's down big time right now.
I've seen that.
It's down huge, but it bounces up and down, up and down. But, yes, if Adam's interested in doing a crypto show, have him hit me up, Dave, please. Yeah. We got to come up with a good name. You had a good one. What was it?
Tales from the Crypto.
Tales from the Crypto, yeah. That'd be a good name for the show.
I like that name. But, yeah, I think that's another show. If somebody wants to pick up the ball and run with it. And, heck, if somebody wants to do 315 Crypto, there you go.
Yeah, well, they got that group out there.
Right.
They're doing their group, so.
So if they made a radio show, it's kind of multiple advertising. But go ahead and do it. There's an opportunity here. You have a studio. You have the means of doing it. It just put it together.
Putting it together. That's all you got to do. Put a demo together. And, and if we like it, we'll put it on the D, know. And if not, you could use it and put it on, say, SoundCloud or archive.org or however. If you really want to get the word out and create a platform for yourself, hit us up. We can create that for you.
Absolutely. We've noticed already, like putting a D line together, putting a bass line together, this show, there's so much talent out there of people that, even if you're just doing it for fun, you don't care. Oh, okay, I don't care about the views or whatever. I just want to do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes the best.
Exactly.
Honestly, is when you enjoy doing it. And we notice a lot of people coming out of the woodwork that they're like, man, I've always wanted to do this. You know, this is something I've always dreamt of doing, but I never thought I'd have the opportunity. Here you go. The opportunity's here.
The opportunity is here. Hit us up. Hit us up. Well, let's take a break, Chicken, because I think our guests are here, and I saw them walk by, but they didn't, walk in. We're getting.
I know, it always makes me nervous when I see attorneys walking towards me.
Right.
Like, shit, what I do now?
Uh-oh. No, these are the good ones. These are the attorneys that are on our side.
Oh, okay, good.
I think they're in the back, but no, here they come. The suits are in the house. So we'll be right back. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with Attorney Dave Longeretta. See you in a minute.
You're listening to EC Radio on the Disruption Network.
Dago Wab, Guinea, garlic bread, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, Victimone, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer motherfucker.
That's good.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke
Radio.
from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. I love every single thing about helping them find or sell their home. Making sure the home is solid and ready for sale or solid and ready for the buyer's inspection, to making sure that they're getting the best rate on their mortgage, making sure they're getting the best price on their house. You know, just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-404-6431. Or you can find me on Facebook or visit my website at centralnewyork.com/Adeline. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you home.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Passalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Passalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys, now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Passalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys, now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Passalacqua & Associates. 315-500-NICK or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.
In the Mohawk Valley, for the best real estate service, you gotta have faith. Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-735-2222 or www.centralnyhomes.com.
You know what the hell you're listening to? It's EC Radio. Attention listeners, EC Radio is not responsible for unwanted pregnancies, alcoholism, domestic situations, missing brain cells, amplified voices in your head, weakened bladders, bloodshot eyes, STDs, PTSDs, ADHD, HIV, ESPNs, CNNs, rapid head movements, and spontaneous human combustion.
You have no education. You have no interest. You just do whatever reckless thing you want to do whenever you want to do it without regard for anyone else. Oh, and when you're not terrorizing the community with your impulsive escapades, you're being a total jerk to your family.
You're listening to EC Radio on the Disruption Network.
EC Radio, we're back. We live on the D. DisruptionNetwork.net. You can check us out on the World Wide Web. Before we get into anything, got to give some love and respect at the sponsors. Josh Amodio, Priceless Inspection. For a good quality home inspection is priceless. Call them today, 315-525-8725. If you're looking to put your home up on the market, or you're looking to buy a home, or even if you want to update your home, Josh can do all that for you. Call him today, 315-525-8725. It's the best part of the song right here, chicken. I got you muted. I got you muted, chicken. The beauty of all the new equipment, I love it. You're back, chicken. Now you're back, baby.
Not falling for it.
I still don't understand this equipment, and we got a lot of new equipment in the house, and I still don't get it. But one day I will eventually figure all that out, I hope. I don't know. Who knows?
This should be interesting when I take over tonight.
Yeah. There's always technical difficulties.
Absolutely.
Always.
Like I told you, 2 weeks in a row, the camera froze on me. I was like, what the hell?
What the heck? Joining us in the studio, an old friend, a guy who actually took great care of me back in the day at the EC. An old friend, Dave Longeretta, attorney Dave Longeretta, and we're also joined by John Leonard from Rome. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Well, we got our big St. Patty's Day party happening, and we want to talk about DWIs, and you guys are experts in the field of DWIs.
Well, I don't know if I am, but John certainly is.
Yeah. I think just being in the attorney realm makes you kind of an expert in DWIs. I mean, I'm sure you've handled many cases, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of attorneys fancy themselves as being DWI experts, but that's really a misnomer and a fallacy out there because DWIs are so, and John can verify everything I'm saying, DWIs are so technical and scientific today that you can't have your general practitioner go out there and say, hey, I'm a DWI expert, come to me. I'm going to, you want help quick, come to me. That's really not doing your client any service.
Mm-hmm.
If you are ever in the unfortunate situation being charged with DWI, you really want somebody that has the same training, if not more training, than what the officers have that are out there making the accusations against you. And that's something that John and I, for many, many years, have been going through, and John's actually taken to the next level. John's actually a board-certified DWI attorney. I don't know if you guys have seen on the arterial, big John Leonard sign out there. John is actually board-certified, and John can tell you what was required to do that, and that is a huge accomplishment to achieve that. John, how many people in the area even have that certification? You're the only one, aren't you?
Well, what is the board, too?
It's the National College of DUI Defense.
Let's get you up there a little closer, John.
Yep, it's the National College of DUI Defense, which we belong to. It's a national organization of all DWI attorneys. It's recognized actually by the American Bar Association. I'm one of 55 people in the entire nation that is actually certified by them. There's 3 in New York State. Peter Gertzensang out of Albany, Eric Sills, one of his partners, and out of Albany, and then also Ed Fiandak out of Rochester.
New York,
and I'm the 4th one that's here, but there's only 55 in the entire United States. It's quite a bit of process to go through. You actually have to get referrals to get in. You have to have a minimum of 6 DAs that are currently DAs to vouch for you, 6 judges that you practice in front of. You have to take an exam that most people fail. You also have to have a minimum of so many trials. I think at the time it was either 20 or 25 trials in a 2-year period of time, along with 40 other cases to handle, such as hearings or whatever, during that period of time, and it couldn't be the trial ones. Then you do an appeal, you argue that, and then based on that, if you complete all that, then you become board certified, and every 5 years you have to re-up. I'm not on that yet. So it's my 2nd year or 3rd year that I've had it. So.
Oh, how do you re-up? Take a test again or
well,
something?
You got to certify that you had so many trials again, and that you're up to date on your classes and the other stuff too. So, a lot of the stuff that also is required. Like I'm certified on the, as well as Dave, we've gone to many seminars together and stuff. We're certified as breath technicians, so we can actually take the machines apart, put them together, fix them. We know the owner of the Data Master is John Fusco. We've gone up there many times to do that. I'm also certified as a field sobriety test instructor. I could teach at the academy, except they won't let me. So I have everything that the police officers have, and their superiors have, and then some.
John, can you say the alphabet backwards?
No.
No?
Not even sober.
And a piece of advice for your listeners is that you're not 100% not required to do any field sobriety tests. Never
Period.
do them. They're there to fail.
And that's not an automatic admittance of guilt?
Absolutely not.
No.
You're not
No, it's
required to do any of that. The only thing you're required to do that they consider a field sobriety test is the alka sensor. That's to test whether or not you have presence or absence of alcohol in your system. That's in the field. And the only thing that you're required to do is blow into that. If you don't, it's just a traffic ticket. It has nothing to do with your license.
You do not lose your license for failing to blow into the PBT. The PBT is the portable breath testing device, and that's the roadside test. That's the test they will generally give after they go through the standardized field sobriety test. And there's only 3 tests. John's an instructor. I'm certified on those tests as well. Okay, and I don't think there's many DWI attorneys in our area that actually have the certification that John and I have for the standardized field sobriety test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and those 3 tests are the eye test. I call it the eye test, horizontal gaze nystagmus. That's generally followed by another test of your eyes called the vertical gaze nystagmus. Then they have the walk and turn test. And then the 3rd standardized test is the one-leg stand. And they're standard because those 3 tests, every law enforcement officer out there that does DWI arrests, they use the same test all across the country. They're instructed, they're graded, and administered the exact same way here in Utica, New York, as in Los Angeles, California, Miami, Florida, New Orleans, where we'll be next week.
Nice. One leg stand. That's Chicken's Indian name.
Yeah.
One leg stand.
How accurate are those, the field sobriety, the
PBTs?
field blow test?
It depends what you consider accurate. Well, the reason why is at a trial, that does not come into play because it's just used for probable cause to arrest. Basically, it's a fuel cell, so that fuel cell could be tricked. It's looking for, I don't get it too nerdy and stuff, but basically it's looking for alcohol. But there's a lot of other things that, such as acetone, which can give a false reading, false positive.
Cigarette smoke can even give a false positive
Really?
on that test. Yeah, yes, it's a possibility. Yep.
Is there many different makes and models of breathalyzers, or is there just one standard one?
Well, are you talking about the portable, or are you talking about the chemical test that they use at the station?
Okay, the portable one. Let's go with the portable one.
Lots.
Yeah,
There's different makes and models.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one question, anybody in the unfortunate situation of being charged with the DWI, their attorney should be asking that arresting officer, what is the make and model of the PBT device you utilized on my client? I don't think I've had maybe 2 officers be able to tell me the make and model of it.
Really?
Yeah, they just, it's...
You would think that's something they should know.
Yeah,
well,
right?
And other things they know, they should know, is that that machine has to be calibrated. That device has got to be calibrated.
What about in the lab, though?
How do you calibrate it?
There's a certain way that they have to calibrate it before each and every shift, okay? And they're supposed to go through this calibration system. But what you'll hear on the stand as you do these hearings is the officer will tell you it's a self-calibrating machine. Well, you guys tell me, you have all this equipment around you. Can this stuff self-calibrated stuff? Your computer self-calibrate?
No, that's what we got Todd for.
That's what you got Todd for? That's right. You have an expert that actually calibrates it. They have to calibrate these things to make sure that they're working properly.
Okay.
And they don't do that very often.
Huh. What about in the lab, though? Because there's other breathalyzer testing going on in there.
And that's commonly known as the chemical test.
The chemical test.
Yeah, and that's a device that John and I are certified on. Locally, it's called the Data Master, but the state police use what's called the Draeger.
Okay.
Okay, and the Draeger is a 2 testing system, and the Data Master is a 1 testing system. The Data Master is called an infrared system, where it's basically a beam of light that they shoot through a sample chamber after you blow into it. And the Draeger has an electrochemical as well as the infrared. Okay, they claim that the Draeger is more reliable. I disagree with that. I also disagree that the Data Master is that reliable, but that's what a lot of trials are made of.
Like a litmus test or something?
Well, here's one thing that people don't know about. Because of the college, we're familiar with people all over the country. And there's a case in New Jersey a few years back. It's called State versus Chun, or New Jersey versus Chun. And one of our friends, or actually 2 of our friends that are in there, that just got loud.
Yeah,
I think it might be a short net wire.
So what they found out is that that's a 2-blow state. So if you blow into the machine and you register a 1-1, they have to wait a certain period of time, blow a second time. And then when you blow it a second time, if you're a 1-1, it has to be within 10%. So it could be, the second breath can be a 1-0, a 1-1, or a 1-2, and it says that's fine. What they found out was, and they reverse engineered, again, not to get too nerdy, they reverse engineered the software. What they found out is that if you blew a 1-1 and then you blew a 1-3, the machine internally said, ignore the 1-3, print out the 1-1, and say everything's okay. And that was uncovered in like 1,500 cases where actually
The machine.
stopped. The machine actually did it.
It wouldn't take the average?
No, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to kick it out and say invalid sample or there's a problem, start over. It didn't. Inside the software in the Dregger, it actually said, ignore that number. Since it's not within that 10%, ignore it and then just print out the number as the first number and then say there's nothing wrong with it. So people are going to state prison on a machine that actually was doing something we shouldn't have done.
How many times are they supposed to give you the test?
Just the one time.
Just the one
New
time.
York State's a one blow test.
Yeah, it's a one in New York State.
Okay.
That's correct. Yep.
But other states, it's
New
more?
Jersey's a 2-blow.
2-blow?
Yep.
So they make
varies
you
from
blow it?
state to state, jurisdiction will vary. But
So you
New
have
York
to
is
blow 2 times.
In New Jersey.
Right.
In New Jersey. Right.
So when you get caught drinking and driving in New Jersey, they make you blow it in 2 times. That's crazy.
That's the law in New Jersey.
That's actually for a specific reason. The reason being is if I draw a dot on the chalkboard and I ask you which way does the line go, you can't tell me. So am I going up in my breath curve or am I going down my breath curve? So if I have 2 dots, now you can draw a line and see which way it's going. And that's what they want to say because that's one of the defenses that we're able to use is, am I going up or am I going down? It makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. And when John's talking about going up and going down, we're talking about the actual alcohol that's getting into your blood and your BAC. Are you on the rise, meaning your body's absorbing all the alcohol, or did you already max out and now your body is eliminating the alcohol and you're on the downslope? Okay, so that's why they want to do these things. They believe it's a safeguard to protect the defendant. I, again, think otherwise.
Now, when you guys go into New Orleans, you said this weekend, what will they teach
next
you?
week.
Or next weekend. What will they teach you at this conference? Like, is there, like, different certifications that you have to obtain or any of that go into this conference? Or is it just more of an educational thing? Or
It's educational.
Yeah.
All of our experts are there. We talk to them. They actually do a case study where they actually do a full-blown trial with jurors and everything, and the judge comes in, and it's actually pretty cool to have that, so you can see how other people deal with certain issues. But it's more of a learning experience for us. And then if I say, hey, I think I need some more stuff on blood, then I'll go find a seminar that somebody's putting on, so I can with one of the experts and go do a blood seminar and get certified in that.
They have breakout sessions, so you have the general, the itinerary that they have, but then they have breakout sessions. So if you want it to be have half a day or 2 or 3 hours just on the data master, they'll have an expert come to just train you on the data master or the Draeger, or if it's a blood, or if it's however, they have certain specialties that you can go to. But John was talking about the very cool thing is having the trial. They actually get people that are, I don't know if they're visiting, I guess they
come from Texas.
They come from Texas.
These are actors or
no.
This is a real trial.
This is us. This is us. They will actually bring you in.
It's
tell
a real
you
trial. Okay.
It's a real.
Well, I mean,
it's not.
Okay.
But everybody believes it's a real trial. So the jurors that are actually selected, you go through an entire jury selection process. You go through the opening statements, the prosecution, the defense, and then closing, and then they hand it to the jury. The judge will charge the jury. The jury will actually go into a room a little bit bigger than your room here, and there's actually hidden cameras in there, so we can sit there in the big conference room. And we're listening and just picking up what the jurors thought was very interesting and what they liked about the trial, what they didn't like about the trial. And it's just amazing some of the things jurors will pick up on and how that one fact will control their decision throughout the deliberations. It's very educational for the attorneys that are attending it. John, it's got to be our 10th year.
10th, yeah. About.
We go down. It's amazing what you learn down there. And it's great because we come back here. Of course, we don't make a lot of friends with the DAs because we come back here and we pick up all these different defense techniques that we get to use when we're having hearings and trials, and they don't like that.
See, it seems like a cool way to learn how to sway the jury. Like you said, they get on that 1 or 2 facts and they kind of like stick on that. So now you kind of almost learn how to sway the jury.
And it's also, we don't know what's important until you talk to a juror. I talk to juries, win or lose. I'll talk to them and find out what they liked, they didn't like. So if they're back there and they're saying, hey, they picked up, he said this, but, that really didn't happen because this other person said that, and we're thinking that's not a big deal. But to them it was huge. Now we're making a big deal over the blood, and they didn't do this, and they didn't do that, and they're like, who cares about that? I'm more interested in what happened over here. And it gives you a perspective later on of, hey, you know what? I'm looking at these big issues and scientific stuff, and they're looking at somebody's shoes. I lost a trial early on because the person I went against his shoes were shinier than my shoes. because and then I talked to the juror after, and they said that they thought he was more prepared because his shoes were shinier than mine.
The design of your tie, I've had him complain about a tie. I've lost a trial over my tie. Oh yeah, yeah. I've attacked a police officer. Oh yeah,
but
some of them.
But it shouldn't even be looking at it and stuff. But
Right.
it's reality, and that's what's scary.
What are the percentage of your cases that actually do make it to trial? You think? Do you have a percentage? 5%?
We're laughing because
I have a lot. I had a period back when I was getting ready to have I had to have those trials in the 2 years. I don't know if everybody thought it was funny, but they scheduled me. It was either 7 trials in 8 weeks or 6 trials in 7 weeks. I finished the trial on a Wednesday, picked the jury Wednesday night, had finished that trial. If it was 6 out of 7, I won, or if it was 6 trials in 7 weeks, I won 5 out of the 6. The one that I lost, we actually appealed to the highest court, the Court of Appeals in New York State, which came back last year. We ended up losing up there. And if it was 7, then I won 6 out of the 7. But I did that. It was one right after another. We were doing it. So
That was just last year?
no, it was about 3 years ago that I did that. I tried to. The judges, the DAs, and everybody now are now looking at cases differently. So cases that shouldn't be going to trial and whatever, they are now giving you real offers that our clients should be taking and move on. So.
Just to speed the process up a little bit?
No,
or?
I think by how many cases everybody's been fighting now, they're actually looking at them saying, hey, and that's what Dave said in the beginning, you can have a family court attorney go in and do a DWI. It wasn't a big deal back then. But now, if I go out and I don't know what Dave has behind him, and I say, oh, he got a DWAI, that's great, and Dave never told me he had 4 behind him, Dave just lost his license for life in New York State.
That's the Department of Motor Vehicle Regulations John's talking about. Because years ago, okay, if you just keep getting DWIs, and God forbid, so long as nobody gets hurt, you may not go to jail. It was Governor Cuomo 3 years ago, I think it was. He basically wanted to pass a law on the books that if you have 3 DWIs in a 25-year period of time, so you get a DWI today, your attorney should be asking you, what do you have for priors? And it's not just DWIs, it's any alcohol-related offense.
Or drug.
Or drug. Okay, or serious driving offense, that could have an impact on your license for the next 5 years of your life.
Or refusal.
That's right. I mean, it's really the DMV regulations is a whole new layer to the whole DWI defense that John and I pick up cases all the time from other attorneys that they claim to be DWI experts. They never ask that question. Do you have any priors? Well, these people are taking a plea to a DWI or they get reduced to an AI. 20 days down the road, they're getting a letter from DMV saying, hey, your license is now revoked for the rest of your life.
Well, you would think it'd be an FAQ, a frequent.
Oh, we just lost, yeah.
How did that happen? This is twice today that's happened.
It's self-calibrating, that's why.
It's all this damn new equipment. I don't know. Can't keep up with it. But that's got to be the first asked question, right? Do you have any priors when you're meeting with a client, right?
But people ask, do you have any priors, meaning the policies of the different district attorney's offices, they have different rules and regulations or policies that they have, whether or not they'll reduce it down if it's over a certain amount. But the thing that people also don't know, too, is that if Dave had 4 DWIs back in the 90s, and he says, hey, you got any prior DWIs? Yeah, they were in the 90s. Everybody's like, all right, no big deal. I get Dave an offer of a reckless driving. He's like, great job. But then he gets that letter from DMV, and it says, hey, buddy, you had 4 back there. Because you had the reckless, that's a new misdemeanor. We're looking it back. You are now suspended for the rest of your life.
The reckless is a serious driving offense, and now I got to deal with not having a license. Now, how do I go to work? How do I go to court? How do I do these things? And just for the record, I don't have 4 DWIs. Just so we're clear. Okay, see, I get worried about that sometimes.
You're the crisis actor in this situation right now. So.
I am.
That's right. I forgot about the one in 86. 6.
All right, I've been exposed.
So there's no way at that point that you'll ever get your license back in New York State?
Not until Cuomo leaves.
And that regulation has changed. Actually, we've actually had cases where we've picked up clients in that unfortunate situation because they got, I don't want to say bad advice, they weren't advised at all on it, okay? And we're left with the situation, okay, we got to work with DMV to try to get Dave Longeretta his license so he could at least drive to work. And it's not an easy thing to do. I have yet to be successful on that, but we still keep trying. Fight the good fight.
But the other issue is that I would have to go back, or Dave would have to go back and say, hey, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Go after the attorney, bring in what's known as a quorum nobis motion or 440 motion to open it up because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. because now you didn't tell your client he was going to lose his license, or you didn't care, or you just were ignorant of it. And now I got to try to undo the case and come and fight that case so that you don't lose it for your lifetime. It's a big mess.
At what point do I see they have the blow test in your car? Your car won't start unless you blow into it. Like, when does that come into effect? Like,
well, that's you're talking about the ignition interlock device.
Yes.
Okay, that's actually in the statute now. That if you're convicted of a DWI, whether it be after a jury trial or by a plea, by statute you have got to have that device
even after
installed.
Yes.
One DWI, yes.
Oh, okay.
If you just have a DWAI, which your first offense is violation, you do not have to have that device installed.
What's
But
the difference between DWI and DWAI?
It depends on what your breath test is.
Oh, okay.
So there's many different factors that'll play in on that. Today in the state of New York, a DWI is if you have a BAC of .08 or greater. Okay.
Also, common law DWI, which you're arrested for in the field. Both of those are misdemeanors. You can get up to 1 year in jail, 3 years probation, minimum fine of $500, maximum of $1,000, a surcharge of $260 in a town court, $255 in a local court. I'm sorry, $400. $395 and $400.
Yep, $400 now is
And
the
then-
surcharge.
Right, and an AI is a traffic ticket. You only lose your license 90 days instead of 6 months.
And that's a suspension. It's a 90-day suspension as opposed to a 6-month revocation of your driver's license. So that's a big difference.
And if you get an aggravated DWI, it's a 1 year revocation of your driver's license. The fine's double, basically. And that's the difference between the two. But it is not a felony. A lot of attorneys still think that it's a felony.
No, what is an
for
aggravated DWI?
You blow a .18 or greater.
Oh.
So based on your
That's
BAC
drinking a
again.
bottle of vodka right there.
That's nice.
You're feeling no pain.
What's a DUI?
There is no such thing in New York State, but they
It's
under the
another. It's
influence.
another state.
A different jurisdiction calls driving under the influence. New York State is driving while ability impaired or driving while intoxicated.
Or driving while ability impaired by drugs.
That's the latest
That's
thing coming
the
out
other
with
one.
all the marijuana and drugs, and they have this thing out there called the DRE. Some police officers claim that they are DRE, drug recognition experts, so they'll make an arrest saying that you're under the influence of a drug.
And now how do they make that assumption, or how do they make you take that test?
I'll tell you, April 10th, I'll tell you how they make that determination. I'm going to trial on that same issue on April 4th.
Okay.
So.
Actually, that's a good time to do it with April 20 coming
Yeah,
up.
420. The hippie holiday. Yes, indeed.
Or it's like we like to call it, a day.
But actually, the DREs,
Tuesday.
John, there was it Maryland?
Yes.
I think there was Maryland, and this is something we picked up down at the New Orleans summer. At least I picked it up. John probably knew it before.
And one of our experts is the one who was one of the main experts down there.
And that state basically said, listen, law enforcement officer, you're trained as a law enforcement officer. You're not a pharmacist. You're not a doctor. You really don't know what the effects of the drugs are on the human body. Yes, you go through training. We put you in training for 1 week. But we're not going to back up all your arrests saying that Dave Longeretta was under the influence of drugs and have that stand. So they basically threw out, the state of Maryland threw out the entire DRE program.
Wow.
In Maryland, yeah. New York State still has the DRE program.
Do they admission a test or something? Like if you get pulled over and
Oh, yeah.
they don't see that you're drinking, but now they think that the DRE to come into effect. How do they?
They call the DRE in, and there's
So you have to bring in the expert.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yep, they have to bring in that officer.
It's like Pawn Stars.
Objection, evaluator.
That's a trial attorney coming out in John again.
I had one of the first ones in Rome City Court, and the thing is to call them experts, but they're not. They're evaluators.
Okay.
Nobody determined an expert. My expert had to go to school for 8 years plus whatever residency. A cop goes to school for 4 weeks, and they're an expert. I don't know how you get the equivalent.
Yeah.
But you can get that sustained all the time. That it's basically their evaluators.
John, all the drugs I've did in my lifetime, I'm an expert. I'm an expert, pal.
Just accused, he never convicted. Remember that.
Exactly.
We'll put you on the list.
The alleged drugs.
That's why he's my lawyer.
He's got a lot of trial experience.
It's hilarious, but yeah, I just don't understand how they bring this guy in, and then does he look at you and puts in like a flashlight in your eyes, because all your pupils are dilated, so you must be on Molly or something, or
Exactly. That's exactly.
That's exactly how they do
in,
it.
In a nutshell, that's how they do it. It's actually
12
they
steps.
they claim it's very scientific. As John was saying, there's a 12-step process that they have to go through. They're checking blood pressure. They got to put you into a dark room, turn the lights
So
off.
this isn't happening on the side of the road.
No.
They're taking you into some kind of office facility or
it's a
something.
police station.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's a police.
Well,
station.
I've seen them at police stations. I've seen them at
Hospitals,
hospitals,
right.
emergency rooms. I've seen them in a vehicle,
Right,
which
right.
I don't know how you could do that, but I've had arrests based on that. And I've had officers get up there and make the arrest for a drug-related offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask the question, officer, are you DRE certified? No. Okay, thank you.
And that's thrown out right there.
Well,
More or
I'll-
less.
I'll,
right?
I'll tell you in April.
It's nuts, though. Like, I can look at somebody and be like, oh, my God, he's fucking blowing his nose over there. He's got to be on cocaine. You know what I mean? But as far as, like, different strokes for different folks, kind of. Like, Tylenol affects people differently.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's their own individual.
think
and,
about
like,
if you-
all these chemicals affect people differently.
If
know?
you have a cold, right, and you've been sniffling and you're blowing your nose and your nose is all red, I mean, and your eyes might be watery, and if you take some kind of medicine, you could look like you were on coke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or you could look like you're drunk. And if you happen to walk out of a bar because you met your friends there and you had one drink and you're walking into your car and somebody saw you sniffling and rubbing your nose and your eyes are a little watery and they're going to run to a police officer, hey, Dave Longeretta is drunk. I just saw. They're going to pull me over for that?
Why are we throwing you under the bus all day?
John started. I don't know. It's just
better him than me.
Big shoulders, easy target. What can I say?
It's usually chicken, so he's
Yeah,
like,
right.
So, you're saying that you can look at somebody and tell that they're intoxicated.
Right.
And I had a case not in this county. I want to make sure everybody knows not in this county. I won't say county it was in. Clients in a parking lot. Cops come up, think he's high, ODing, whatever. They arrest him for drugs. They don't know what drugs he's on. They get a blood test back. They do the blood test. Apparently nobody knew that what the inactive metabolite of cocaine was, which means if it's an inactive metabolite, it's not affecting your brain, which means you can't get a DWI.
which means you got bunk shit.
So, no, which means it was used. So if I take cocaine right now, when my body's done using it, it breaks it down into different components. And one of them, what they're looking for is the active metabolite, which is affecting my brain. So now I'm DWI alcohol. DWI drugs. But if it's the inactive metabolite, it means it's not affecting my body. I've used it. So if you get a
still
urine
in your
test,
system.
right, up
It's
to
still
5
in your
days
system, but it's not affecting your system.
So you're not impaired.
at all.
Correct.
So
And
my
that's
guy
why
was
John's talking about
indicted
the
as
active
a
metabolite.
felony with that, and nobody realized that there was no active metabolite. Now, he looked drunk, he looked intoxicated, looked like he was ODing, whatever it was, come out to be he had nothing in his system other than an inactive metabolite of cocaine. The other thing is, too, is if you take a urine test on a drug test, or on a drug case, you take a urine test. I remember calling up my doctor all the time. Hey, doc, he's got 96 nanograms of this, and he's got that. And he goes, John, is it a blood test or a urine test? It's a urine test. Hey, dummy, piss doesn't go through your brain. He says, it doesn't matter what's in your body. It's what's in your blood. It only took me 3 times to tell him, to tell me that. Finally, I learned. So, so that's one of my favorite things: is it blood or urine?
I got a question. You were mentioning, leaving the bar and whatever. As I work in a bar, and you've owned a bar, and you talk about people leaving and they're drunk and they get a DWI. How at fault is that bar?
Criminally or civilly? It depends. Civilly speaking, I mean, if I'm in your bar and I'm out there and I'm having one too many and I get behind the wheel of my car and I'm driving and I hit John and I hurt John, John is going to sue me, okay, because I'm the drunk operator of the vehicle, okay, and if it's not my car, it's registered to somebody, they're going to sue that person. But then under New York State law, they have what they call the Dram Shop Act. So they're going to go and they're going to sue the bar to hold the bar responsible, because if I'm visibly intoxicated in your establishment and you continue to serve me intoxicating beverages, okay, and then you let me go and I drive and hurt somebody, you're liable for it, okay? And you probably carry a hell of a lot more insurance on your bar than I do on my car. So you could be very, very responsible for it.
Now, how would you determine some place like that, like on Varick Street, where there's multiple bars and they could have been to like 3 or 4 different bars that night, like?
Oh, I love that. I love that. As a civil attorney doing civil, I'm going to name every single one of those bars. I'm going to put them in that lawsuit, and I'm going to have every one of those bars try to get out of it, okay? Because basically it's a cumulative effect, Okay, and that's what we try to do. So, as a bar owner, civilly speaking, you carry an awful responsibility to everybody, even people in your bar and outside of your bar. So you really have to train your bouncers. You got to train your bartenders to, hey, listen, I know I'm in this business to make money, but we can't be reckless when we're doing it. We can't be negligent. We got to be careful. If we see people that we think are intoxicated, we're going to call the bartenders over, say, look, you're cut off. We don't want any problems. Let me call you a taxi, get you home. I'm happy to pick up the tab for you, get Uber. You don't want that. And here, a great example, because we're coming up on St. Patrick's Day in Utica. It's a big day this Saturday. People are walking around, they're drinking, they're having a great time. The last thing that they're thinking when they're feeling good, having a few drinks, under their belt, is worried about a DWI. But it's a reality, and you really have to be careful, and you got to be mindful of that. Have plans to get home safely, get a designated driver, get Uber. Just lose the keys to your car.
Call Uber, CNY cabs. There's
a lot of options out there.
Yeah, a lot of options, and use them.
Actually, a couple years ago, we took the bus. We took the city bus. It cost us $1.25 to get down there to Varick Street, and $1.25. Take the bus.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, and the collateral effects of a DWI are, your license, your job, the embarrassment, the attorney's fees, the fines that John talked about.
Say attorney's fees twice.
Yeah, it's attorney's fees. Did I say that twice?
Yeah.
But it's a huge expense that you could really have a great day turn real bad real quick, and you don't want it, And listen, I know it's bad for business for me, John. I'm sorry, it's bad for business for you, but
no,
but
and I always say the same thing too. People say, well, how do you defend a drunk driver? Not everybody's drunk every time. Not everybody's stoned every time. I drive the same roads. I don't want anybody to kill my family. I don't want to kill me. I don't want to kill Dave. I don't want to kill any of you guys. And that's what it is. I mean, as a defense attorney, we're to test the proof. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, as long as we do our best, it's up to somebody else to determine what happens. But I don't want anybody killing anybody. But we're there to do a specific job, and that's what we're there for. If you meet that burden, they're found guilty, that's what it is.
And we take it a step further, John and I do in our practices.
Because you care.
Well, yeah, we do. And we care about our clients because we like our clients, And listen, people make mistakes. It happens all the time. People have problems. People have addictions. So, like I said, John and I have in our practice, somebody comes in and they're honest with us and they tell us, look, I'm an alcoholic. I've been fighting this for, God knows how long, how many years. We will actually make arrangements for them to be evaluated and put them into treatment and inpatient treatment if necessary. And if the clients listen to our advice and they follow it, it generally helps them out in the long run. It may not help them out for the case, but it certainly helps them in the long run. And hopefully you never see this person in that situation again.
I've driven people to rehab.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah.
Speaking of rehab, we are doing a documentary actually right now on Iboga. The Iboga plant. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all.
Not, no.
The Iboga plant is found in West Africa. And with the Iboga, it has an 85% effective rate of curing addiction, PTSDs, depression, anxiety, bipolar. The list goes on and on and on. It's helped a few of our friends.
Yes, personally, we know several people.
We know a few people that, one girl was completely addicted to heroin, and she took it one-time deal, and the next day she's fine. She's been clean and sober 11 months.
Yeah, she just posted she's 11 months sober.
We got
how do you get that
one-time
stuff?
use.
Is
of course, it's illegal in the United States. Yeah, but it's legal.
We don't have the FDA approvals?
Right, exactly. It's legal in Canada. It's legal in Mexico. It's legal everywhere else, but, of course, the good old
Big Farm is,
USA.
They don't want to cure people. They want
That's right.
Just
that makes me think about something too. In Oneida County, they have a veterans diversion program, which I'm not big on a lot of government plans, but this one was actually started by Scott McNamara and I think
Josh Bauer.
Paul Hearn.
Yep.
They started for veterans that we got a lot of these young guys coming back from overseas, drug addicted, alcohol. They see stuff that nobody should see,
right?
PTSD and all this kind of stuff. And one of the first questions that I ask when they come in there, and because I lost by looking at somebody's shoes, I will look at their shoes to see if they're military and say, hey, by the way, are you military?
That's a thing now.
So absolutely, that was about 15 years ago.
Shoes and ties.
That's right. But if they have that, the program that they go into, they'll get a better break than anybody else. And a lot of attorneys, even now knowing about it, don't send those people there. And I think it's one of the best programs because they actually try to help people. I had a person that came in and going through a divorce, ready to kill himself, just bad, and got him through the program. It took him about a year and a half to go through the program. Usually it's about 6 months. Went through a year and a half, lost his job, everything. They got him through the divorce. They got him housing. They got him a job, and he's a productive citizen again of here, and he's off everything. So, and that's been almost 2 years.
Awesome.
And
That's
it's one of the
great to
few
hear.
programs that work. But the reason I was thinking about that, you're talking about the PTSD, there's a lot of our military people, personnel coming around that have that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those people come through our offices, and they need that extra help. And I just want to make your audience aware that if they have veterans in their family or friends, and they do have a DWI or they have a drug charge or anything like that, there is this program that's out there, and it's to help them. And they're going to give them a second chance, but they'll do everything that they can to get them back in there. And part of the agreement is that they'll go through and do a drug and alcohol evaluation and post-traumatic. And if they need help, it's all free. And it's people there just for them. You and I, unless you're in the military, none of us can get that. So I've had guys back from the Korean War. I had a guy that came in carrying that baggage around all the time, and he just went through the program. So, I mean, it's stuff that he says, I didn't even realize I had this.
See, but I feel like the misnomer is that a lot of people feel that PTSD just affects wartime vets.
Oh, no.
And I mean, we see it with like first responders. You know, I
Absolutely.
personally know some firemen that see some pretty crazy shit, and
Absolutely.
like, you know, affect them deeply. And you know, police officers. You know, pretty much anybody that
Any
you
kind
know,
of emergency personnel.
Absolutely.
First responders.
Nurses.
Yeah.
Ambulance people.
Anybody seen like a major tragedy, been
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
anything like that. So it affects a lot of people, and people think, oh, I never been to war, so
Affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
You know, and once it's properly diagnosed, then we could assist them in getting into this, because it is a great program. This vet diversion program.
And that's what's
is
so
phenomenal.
important about this, you know, research in the Iboga plant is, you know, if it can take care of something like that and, you know, like fix the PTSD problem, the depression. You know, like a lot of people, you know, go to rehab, they cure you of the drug, but the depression's there. The other issues
Side effects.
are there that cause you to go to the drugs in the first place. And what this does, it kind of
It gives you a reset on
Yeah,
your
like-
body and your mental stability as well. It's just a complete reset. And it's like recalibrating your body.
Listen, we all gotta be calibrated
Right.
automatically.
But
That's
that's
right.
why I mentioned it, because with the military, the amount of kids that are coming back here, you know, that's something that somebody, I don't know if anybody's talking about it or whatever, to see if they can do some kind of program sponsored through the government for our soldiers that are coming back that actually needed help, that nothing else is working. I'd like to see them try something that may work, rather than, you know, end up dead on the side of the street
Right,
because
exactly.
they're not getting the help they have.
Exactly. But of course, it's a Scheduled 1 drug.
That's
But
the
again,
issue.
if you do it in a rehab
True,
facility,
true.
which would happen, and the government has the money and means to do something like that, to start a program, because if it is, and we got Schedule I drugs, you know, we got all over the place, different things. Eventually, you know, if it's used for the right thing.
And that's what we're trying to accomplish here, is actually show that there's potentially an option, you know, maybe not in the same form that they give it right now, but maybe research it, and like you said, they give it in a clinical setting like they do in Canada and Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, they actually have clinics set up.
They have
for that.
clinics.
And I
yeah,
can't see
Costa
why they
Rica as
wouldn't
well.
do that. You know, it's ridiculous. You got all these regulations to keep these things out of our borders. I mean, come on, that's crazy.
Well, that's because the
just
government
crazy.
wants us all to be sick.
The government and big business.
They
I
want
mean,
us
the
all
money,
to be
the
sick.
money that they're making by constantly treating, not curing, just treating the symptomology.
Right.
It's just it's like an annuity that's going to
We've-
constantly pay.
We've had people sit here say they've been to rehab 30 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how much are they spending each time to go, you know, the therapy or rehab? And you know, if we can nip it in the bud before it gets that far,
Yeah.
we just save tons of money and time and
Millions, billions.
and the trickle down effect. You know,
Yeah.
because then they get into the crimes and whatnot, and they affect way more people.
That's
But
very true.
Again, they don't want us to be healthy.
Right.
Because they make more money of us all being sick.
Well, you know, but there's a lot more public awareness of these things now. So,
And that's what we're trying to do.
Exactly, and that's the whole, you know, your whole foundation. You want to definitely get the word out there. You want to educate people on this so they can start going to their elected officials to push for these things. You know, and you know, we have a great organization in Utica. Vinny Scalise heads it up, the Utica Center for Development, the Veterans Program. It's the old YMCA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, YMCA on Washington Street, I think it is.
Down by Tiny's and all that.
No. It's,
Oh,
it's
that's the
right off of
YW.
Genesee Street. You got the
By
the
the old-
triangle right behind the triangle.
Oh,
By
okay.
the Bank of Utica and that building down there.
Yep.
And he's doing the whole second, third, and fourth floor. I think they're rehabbing all that for apartments and for veterans. And they have counselors there so the veterans can go there and get help.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really a great program. And he's doing wonders.
We
with it.
need to take care of our vets.
Oh, without
We
question.
really do. Because
Without question.
they're the ones fighting for our freedom.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So that is one great program the DA did start in United County. And I agree with John 100% on
Good.
that, you know,
I did not know that was even out there.
Well, a lot
thank
of the DWI experts that claim to be able to represent all these people, they don't know about it. So hopefully they're listening to your show, and now they know about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got a whole GoFundMe page. We're doing a GoFundMe page because we're sending our crew to Africa to do a documentary on the Iboga plant. And we've got a crew going, and they're going to be filming the Bwiti tribe and their rituals that go along with, presenting this plant as a ritual, as a spiritual kind of transformation as well. So we're going there, and we're also going to Canada too to do some filming on this plant because it's helping everybody around the world but the U.S.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So we're out there doing our thing. If anybody's interested in donating to our GoFundMe page, it's gofundme.com/Iboga. We've been talking about it a lot. We're going to be doing some fundraisers and stuff like that.
Spell it E-B-O-G-A.
I-B-O-G-A.
I-B-O-G-A.
So it's GoFundMe.com/Iboga.
I tell everybody, because when you tell the story and everyone's like, one time, this is BS. This is full of crap. And I'm like, no, I personally know these people. I was we were there from the onset, with Emily. And then Tucker, Rosemary, he discovered it all on his own. So now you're hearing it from a whole different perspective, but with the same results. And then he brought another kid in from Boston, same thing, been in and out of rehab 30 times, buried a bunch of his friends and got hooked on OxyContin back when he was 11. Oh, man. You know what I mean? Through his Pop Warner coach. Yeah.
11?
He said by the time he was 15, he was slinging heroin.
At 15 years old.
15 years old.
Oh, man. And he went through the program?
He went through the Ibogaine, and boom. And I tell you, we interview them, they're smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah.
And these are guys, people who, had depression and whatnot. And, Tucker said he has no...
he was clinically diagnosed as being bipolar,
right.
And he's not bipolar anymore.
Isn't that something?
It's amazing.
That's amazing. It truly is amazing.
It's a wonder drug.
And look at the two biggest epidemics we got going on in this country, opiates and mental illness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're hand in hand. And because, people have depression, boom, here, take a bunch of drugs. And, we'll mask this with more drugs.
Yeah. That's what doctors do. There's a pill for everything.
Try this. It don't work. Try that.
Exactly.
Try this now.
Yeah.
And I'll try that.
Mask one for the other. It's a shame.
It truly is. It truly is.
But we're sitting here with John Leonard and Dave Longeretta. I got to ask both of you, what is the strangest request you've ever had to sue somebody? You got a strange request out there? You got to have some doozies.
I don't really do civil stuff, so
No.
I don't.
You're going to pass that one off to
I
Dave?
don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't do. I don't even know what floor that's on. What floor is that on?
The strangest request to sue somebody.
Yeah.
I know I've had them because I remember just rolling my eyes saying, are you really serious? You want to bring them? I just can't remember what the facts were.
We've talked about the McDonald's coffee being too hot a couple days ago. Or
that turned out to be legitimate. I mean, they ended up getting some big money on that. I mean, obviously the verdict was reduced down, but there was an injury. It was well documented, and they paid off on it.
Well, McDonald's coffee is ungodly hot.
Oh, God, yeah. But it's good. It's a buck. Listen, Tom Clark, you got to love it. Any size. Wow, you caught me off guard with that question.
Yeah, I like to do that. I like curveballs.
That's why I passed it on.
Strange request.
A strange request you ever gotten from a client, or it doesn't even have to be a client, just somebody that's called you up and be like, I want to sue you because I burnt the roof of my mouth because the cheeseburger was too hot.
Maybe it's not a lawsuit, but what's some of the crazier cases that you might have had? Any kind of that stand out there a little absurd?
There's been a lot of crazy criminal cases. Jesus, and sad. A lot of sad criminal cases where dead bodies are around. John and I worked on a case a couple of years back where there was drug related on the thruway. 2 people got killed in an accident. It's just a sad set of circumstances. But
you got to have thick skin too to be an attorney.
Well, there were some really good issues that we developed and we were able to get the case resolved. It concerned blood, it concerned search warrants, it concerned all sorts of things. We brought that to the attention of the prosecutor, and the prosecutor basically agreed. So we were able to work out a disposition. Recently had one where there was a young kid driving from Herkimer over to Utica and then going too fast, drunk, lost control of the car, snowbank, flipped the car over, hit a telephone pole, snapped in half, killed the passenger. There's sad cases, but good people that make a mistake and horrific consequences that they're going to live with for the rest of their lives. You know, it's just
we all make mistakes. We're human.
Yeah. And John's had a few of the people accused of shooting the police. You know, that those are tough cases. I was involved with one of the Word of Life Church.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
I thought we were going to talk about DWI. Thank God that's over. Yeah, we could. But yeah, whatever you want to talk about, that's fine.
That was a crazy situation. For those that don't know, they were kind of like a cult. Would you consider them a cult, or?
I am convinced they were a cult.
Yeah.
My client disagrees with me.
Okay.
We've had hours and hours and hours of conversation over that. He does not believe it was a cult. I think it has all the indicia of a cult, but it just very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
Now, what religion were they supposed?
Catholic.
Oh, okay.
They're Catholic.
Oh, they were Catholic?
Yes. Yep, they're Catholic faith. Yep.
Catholic faith.
Yeah.
It was a very unfortunate incident, though. The kid had to lose his life over it, and the other kid got beat up really bad too.
Both children, obviously one passed due to the injuries and blood loss. And what happened is the salt that is contained in your blood came out of solution. The elevations got so high, basically caused a cardiac shutdown. It was just horrific. But yeah, the beating they took was not. It was tough to see the photos. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Tough to see the photos and even when I had to show the photographs to my client, I couldn't so much as get one full photo out of the file, and he would just break down and cry. It was just sad.
Is there an update on his health now?
On the other one,
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. I understand he's doing better. It's going through the family court process, and they're trying to work out visitations and writing one another and trying to get the family reunited, because that is the ultimate goal of family court, is to reunite the family. It's going to be a long process to get over this, but they are making strides. I do know that.
Can I go back a few years? I want to talk about that AT&T shooting. Did you guys ever?
On Commercial Drive?
Yeah. Did you guys have anything to do with that at all, or?
Well, he was the gunman, and he was the
well, I meant with the case or whatever.
That's the guy behind me, right? Not John? Okay, all right. I just want to make sure
we've been throwing you under the bus all show, so
all right,
I'll
take
continue
it.
on.
The officer that was there was actually a Rome police officer, and now he's a state trooper. He's actually a really, really good guy. I call him Superman because it seems like no matter where he's at, something happens. I mean, he's been pulled people for burning cars, drowning in a river. I mean, just crazy stuff all the time. It's in front of this guy. It's incredible that one person would have that many things.
Didn't he rescue somebody else before that?
A lot, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's been like Superman. He's been in the right place at the right time. Well, I guess it depends what side you're on.
Right.
For him, he probably
well, luckily for them that he's around.
That's right. Him, he may say, why am I getting all these? But, yeah.
Because I noticed, I was working at Verizon right down the road. I was about a mile away. So, I always think about, man, that could have been me. Just coming to work going, I don't want to work today. And some idiot comes in with a gun trying to shoot everybody up. But then I noticed, boom, it's gone. You never heard a single word about it. You didn't hear about the shooter. You didn't hear about you heard about he's dead, but the guy who got shot.
The guy who got shot.
You never heard whatever happened to it. Or it's just gone. I just didn't know.
Yeah, the case faded away, lost its appeal with the media, so it just kind of fades away in the background.
Yeah, true.
But to the families that suffered the loss, that's going to live with them for the rest of their lives. We tell everybody all the time, whenever there's a firearm involved, you better have the maturity, the responsibility, because you pull that trigger, there's no taking that back.
No, right after that, they, we would get a lot of threats. People come in, well, this is why you get shot, or like that kind of stuff.
The AT&T workers.
Well, no, the people coming in, being at Verizon, they come in as they break their phone or screw up their bill, and they'd be like, "That's why people shoot you," and this and that. And we were ordered to call the police.
They're so mean.
Right as soon as and I just didn't know what, is that an actual harassment charge, or is that one of those that they would just probably get a slap on the wrist and say, "Don't do that ever again."
You could bring in harassment charge, but that's probably what will end up happening. It's.
I just didn't know what the severity of somebody actually being shooting up a place.
It's the officer will have to make a judgment call. Is somebody just venting because they're so frustrated? It was a 5-second thing. It's over, and the guy's apologizing. Probably not going to see a charge on that. If somebody that's persistent and trying to jump over the counter and get to the Verizon worker, and I think that's got much more severity to it. That probably would get a charge. If it's harassment, that's a violation charge.
Because I just think, at what point do you take it? Because this guy, from my understanding, went and complained a few times beforehand and said he was going to shoot up the joint, and nobody took him seriously. and then he went and shot up the place. You know what I mean? So I just didn't know at that level, kind of like the school bomb threat. You know what I mean? Like because we've had so much going on, if they would take it more severely as a threat.
Yeah, if that happened now, based on what's going on, I think the police and authorities would take that more of a threat. But back then, again, it wasn't as common. I mean, and now everybody's on heightened alert, so I think that would be different now if that actually happened.
Oh yeah, I'll bet you all these employers now they're they're having meetings and they're setting policy now. Customers come in and they're irate. Here's a protocol we're going to follow to make sure this doesn't get escalated to anything. I mean, that's the day and age we live in now. So we have to we got to be careful.
It does.
You know.
To lighten things up, I do have a funny story I just thought about, the case that I just recently had.
Which one's
Oh,
this
if you
now?
remember this.
John's got great stories, I got to tell you.
I love a good story.
So, the guy had hand surgery. He had
carpal tunnel.
Chopped off a couple fingers.
Oops.
Fingers put back on, surgery. He's out in his backyard. He's grilling some hamburgers. Neighbor dog jumps over the fence, jumps up to grab the hamburger, bites him on the hand.
Thought they were hot dogs.
that just got surgery within a week or two ago. He grabs whatever's closest to him, happened to be a hatchet, runs out, see where the dog is, doesn't know if he's got rabies, got open wounds, bleeding, goes out there, and then sees the dog goes back to the owner. So he goes across the street, he's got the hatchet in his hand. What's going on? Your dog just bit me, he jumped in my yard and everything. My guy gets arrested for menacing for having a hatchet.
Wow. See, now that's a strange request for
that's crazy.
That falls into that category for sure.
Our buddy Kip just checked in. He said he loved the topics that we cover.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks, Kip. Good to hear from you.
Thanks, Kip.
Good to hear from you. If everybody could just share this video, too, you'd be helping us out a lot.
Absolutely.
You just share this video. We're out on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Periscope and Stream Me and Twitter and all that. All that. And then you can listen to the podcast.
Instagram.
On DisruptionNetwork.net. Yeah, a lot of platforms. A lot of platforms.
Sounds it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, that's for sure. Did you guys watch Cuse last night?
I did.
How about that?
I went to Temple University, so.
You're an owl?
I am.
Let me tell you, it took me a while to calm
Except
down
they were
before I
watching
put to bed.
Syracuse, too.
Right. Are they in the NIT, though?
Yes.
Temple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Temple.
Yep.
No, Cuse is on Friday.
Friday.
Back on Friday.
It'll be a tough game with TCU.
Yeah. Well, I think we could get by TCU. I think we, you got Boeheim, and he's a seasoned coach. I mean, he knows the ins and outs, and we got a lot of talent. We really do. It's just getting it to gel and making everybody show up on the court.
Right.
Then we got a great shot.
Oh, there goes the lawyers.
Give yourself a bell on that one, chicken. We lost the guest.
What do you think the straps are on the back? Hold on for it. It's a lawyer strap.
Shot. We on Monday we had Roosevelt Bowie in here, the Syracuse legend. Roosevelt Bowie, yeah, and Dale Shackelford. They were on the show, and we were talking Cuse hoops, of course, because you kind of have to. The Syracuse legends.
March Madness.
And March Madness is in full effect. But they were saying, Syracuse is a very one-dimensional type of team. And if they could start spreading it out a little bit more, they can really, really cause a ruckus in the tournament.
Oh, I think they could, but the problem that I see is we don't have a deep bench.
It's not deep at all. You're right.
And a lot of the players aren't seasoned. Next year, totally different story. I think you're going to see Syracuse being a real big contender.
I agree.
I'm hoping to make it to round 3.
If Battle comes back.
He'll come back.
I think he's coming back.
I think he's coming back. I don't think he's not nowhere near ready for the pros. I think personally, who knows?
I think they got to develop, and I think Boeheim will definitely get these guys working out in the off season, developing. The skills training is going to exponentially get better. I think we're going to see a great improvement. I mean, they had a tough year, and we still made it. So that's an accomplishment.
And you're going to have a down year. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and Boeheim's down year, he still made it to the.
He still won 20 games.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
Right.
That says a lot. And they had a tough schedule.
Oh, the ACC's super tough.
Yeah.
It's hard to get
Well,
around
the
that
Big East
conference.
the Big
Big East
was
was no
picnic.
joke. Yeah,
That was no picnic.
I missed the
Yeah,
Big East.
Georgetown,
Yeah, so do I.
Maryland. Yeah, you had some teams in there. Connecticut.
Yeah, there was tough teams in the Big East, that's for sure. But we'll see what happens.
There used to be times in the tournament that was like almost every team from the Big East was in there.
You got to take it game by game, minute by minute, and that's it.
Minute by minute is right.
And we mentioned this, too, earlier when we were talking about the tournament. It's all about who has the momentum. And whoever's got the hot hand, the momentum going in there, they're the one that's going to do the damage in the tournament.
That's what's great about college, though, is that any team can beat any other team on any given day.
Exactly.
You can get Colgate beating Duke. I mean, that can happen.
Right.
You just don't know what's going to happen on any day.
Rarely, but
but it still happens.
There's like a 2% chance.
Yeah.
I mean, how many games? I mean, how many brackets get busted like the very first couple rounds?
Mm-hmm. That's what I love is when those big teams get knocked off early.
Yeah.
It's great. Then it's anybody's
Screws
ball
everything
game.
up.
Yeah.
It's always like a 12 beating a 5 or a 13 beating a 4. That's usually right where the bracket busters lie.
And 90% of all the brackets are gone at that point.
Yeah.
we were
that's
talking
why
about
there's somebody who is it? Is it Buffett that always puts a bet out there? Anybody that can get a perfect bracket, he'll pay him like $1 million or something.
Is it Warren Buffett?
How hard is that?
Is it Warren
It's never
Buffett
happened. I don't think it's ever happened.
It's never happened.
To my knowledge.
It's got to be like almost impossible.
Is it Warren Buffett? Is that who it is that put that money up?
I thought it was. I mean, I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I think so too.
Pretty sure it was Warren Buffett.
I think so too. How amazing would that be? A perfect bracket? Unheard of. Unheard of. But, and I mentioned earlier too, when it's in the Final Four, watch when the Final Four hits. You'll notice it's always the top-notch coaches are in the Final Four. It does come down to coaching. I know it comes down to players and who's got a deep bench and everything, but the coaching really, really matters, especially in the tournament.
Well, like I mentioned the other day, is Butler, going 2 years in a row to the championship game, and Butler, nobody expected him to even be there, and then they go 2 years in a row against. And would they lose against Duke? And then
they lost to Duke the one year. They almost beat Duke on that last second shot. He was like just over half court, and that ball went in and out. And he hits that shot. Oh my God! Butler wins, and they're the national champions against Duke. It would have been one of the biggest upsets since like the 1980 Olympic hockey team.
The second one was what, the Kentucky?
I don't remember who the other one. It might have been.
Listen, my favorite game was the Big East tournament. Cuse and UConn down 6 overtimes. Devendorf jumps on the table the last second, sinks the 3, and they took it away from us because of the clock.
Yeah.
What, 6 overtimes?
Yeah,
I turned that game off
insane.
4 or 5 times. It was like ended at what, 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. I couldn't stay awake anymore.
I had to watch the whole time.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
If they give him that shot,
game over.
There's no 6 overtimes.
Yeah,
it's just
when,
one.
Yeah.
Or when GMAC hit 3 game winners in a row.
Yeah, that was the Big
That was
East tournament too.
insane.
Yep.
GMAC, that's right.
But nothing will. Of course, 2003. But Syracuse being down 15 at the half against the number 1 ranked Virginia Cavaliers a couple of years ago, and for them to come back and to go into the Final Four the way they went in, down 15, 16 points. Oh my God, that was like one of the most epic Syracuse games of all time.
Best play though ever, I personally in Syracuse history, was when Hakeem Warwick slapped that ball away.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
remember
no.
that?
Yeah!
That was amazing. That was amazing.
You just see this hand come out of nowhere and just reject the ball away, and everyone just went ape shit. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. So hopefully they can pull it off tomorrow against TCU.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yes.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, we are out of time. John, tell everybody where they can find you. How can they get a hold of you if they need some legal advice?
Yep, I'm in Rome in 205 West Court Street, and my number is 336-1410.
And Dave?
I'm right here in Utica, 298 NC Street. My number is 735-6162.
Awesome. This is great. You got to come back.
I'd love to.
This has been
Thanks,
a lot
guys.
of fun to hang out, and we'll dig into another topic down the road, and we'll figure out something.
If you guys need help down in New Orleans, we'll come down.
We'll give you a call. May need bail money.
Well, we got good lawyers.
Definitely may need bail money, that's for sure. Yes, have a great time down in New Orleans.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
thank you so
guys.
much for coming up. And tomorrow, we're off tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But I will be on Back Talk tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Tommy Drama, and I think he's got some political shit to talk about.
No, come on, for real?
That's what Tommy Drama does. And then Monday we'll be back, and I've got Dan Williams from the Barden Mudfest coming on, so we're going to talk about the Barden Mudfest and what a great event that is, and that's happening April 14th at MKJ Farm in Deansboro.
And I got to say, tune in at 6 o'clock, the D-line. Got a couple guys from the Utica Yard Dogs I used to play with.
Oh,
and
yeah?
They're coming on, and we're going to give them a little love, and we're going to talk about all the transactions going on in the NFL this week, which is nuts.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to cover, so it's going to be a great show.
It's too bad you don't have any women on your show.
Guys, Silbert.
That's close enough. We'll see you on Monday.
You know what the hell you're listening to? It's EC Radio.
Never you mind what I'm making. You should spend some time taking a personal inventory of what you're doing for the betterment of society.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. I love every single thing about helping them find or sell their home. Making sure the home is solid and ready for sale, or solid and ready for the buyer's inspection, to making sure that they're getting the best rate on their mortgage, making sure they're getting the best price on their house. You know, just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-404-6431. Or you can find me on Facebook or visit my website at centralnewyork.com/Adeline. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you home.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Passalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Passalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys, now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Passalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys, now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Passalacqua & Associates. 315-500-NICK or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.
In the Mohawk Valley, for the best real estate service, you gotta have faith. Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-735-2222 or www.centralnyhomes.com.